from years ago, so it's not really pertinent to the combo tonight. But I did start a whole music section in our ladies chat, so I'm hoping we can start creating some amazing music together.
All right, cool. That I don't even know that it would matter if it wasn't like I don't know. Okay, so I guess we won't play it.
Oh, I was gonna say, if people want to this weekend do talent show, since karaoke is too intimidating for some people. If enough people want to do talent show this weekend, flat Earth themed, just let me know.
I think everybody's thinking about it, Kai. They're like,
Don't all speak
talent
at
show.
once.
I really love that idea. I love like the idea of people like reciting poetry or showing their artwork or photography or whatever, like sculptures. Like who knows what people will bring to the table. I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, only if people want to do it though. No pressure.
I think it's a great idea. Yeah. Are you thinking about doing it the same time that you usually do the karaoke or a different time?
I don't know. The wee hours can get a little wild, so maybe not so late. But I don't want it to interfere with any, debating. So,
Well, with something like that, it'll probably be slow. People would be apprehensive or shy, or maybe I don't know. So it might work out well doing it on karaoke night. So like that could feel the
okay.
karaoke empty space, and then the karaoke could feel, you know, the empty space of the talent. So that they would together. I think maybe it would go good. What do
Yeah,
you
I
think? I
just
don't know.
want I just want people, like, if you like writing short story, poems, like Shines was saying, if somebody's funny and they have knock knock jokes, like, I don't know. Sometimes it's just
Yeah,
fun to share it with people.
it could start
And
out like
it's
that.
so cute to see what everyone is capable of doing. Flex on the haters. So, yeah.
And it allows everyone to get to know each other on a more personal, level, and so you know more about the individual than the persona, and then like it could start out like that, and then if it got kind of full and booming, like if there were a lot of people, you could always separate it up into different nights. So
Yeah, we just need brave gentlemen to show their talents and brave ladies. And now you don't have an excuse because if you don't like singing, you don't have to sing. But everyone has a talent. So even if it's just burping the alphabet, you can still do that on Discord and show us.
Shinji, were you wanting to say something? You're asking about who can talk right now. Are you wanting to say something?
Shinji made an offer in the voice text there earlier. Video editing skills for with projects. Would have to scroll up a long way to find it, but I don't know. That's what Shinji was to say something about. If that's go ahead and speak, Shinji.
Just wanted to make sure I understood the rules. Like that's basically it.
Oh, for Ladies' Night, yeah. Well, I guess Ladies' Night is officially starting, and with the thing about that, Shinji, is when people have questions, and when it comes, so far as moderating the room and the stream, the ladies are in control. That's all that means. So if there are Globers or whatever that's coming in and have questions, or they want to have a debate or a conversation, it's the ladies that will engage with them. But I mean, it doesn't mean exclusively that men are not allowed to talk. That's not really, so if there's no conversation going on or anything, I mean, I don't know. It's maybe I should let one of the other ladies take over from here.
Oh no, I think you explained it perfectly. There was somebody in both check-ins, but now there's only the Flying Scotsman in VC check-in too, which I know he's been here before. I guess he's come back. I don't know. There was somebody in the other one too. So if anybody has time to go up there, but Angie said, "I'm a video editor. If any of you need some editor for music video, just hit me up." So, Truth Prevails went up there. I didn't mean she had to leave. Gosh, I hope she didn't interpret it that way.
I actually DM'd Shinji about that, and he sent me some videos, and they're amazing. So definitely looking forward to seeing what we can all collaborate together. It's really cool to see how many people are so talented in here. We have so much to offer.
I'm humbled. Thanks.
Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and we haven't actually done an actual introduction, but hopefully if Helio's listening to this later and taking it out as the ladies' night like he does so well. I know he did that last week. I think he's been doing it every week, making a special little episode of the ladies' night. Helio, go back to the 5 o'clock, or maybe even before that, where the songs were starting, because those songs are really nice, if you want them to be in there, which seems like they could be, because they're really nice. So anyway, Jim, 66%. I think this is an appropriate question for ladies' night, because I might forget if I do an introduction before looking at, is there a flat earth dating site? Yeah, and actually, Lunatic is here. There was a server. I don't know. I think it didn't go well, is my impression. I think it was because there were so few ladies and so many men. I think that's part of it. Lunatic, what's the summary of what happened there?
I don't know. An actual dating site, there might be one, but no, we did attempt to start up a flat earth dating Discord that like Dandelion just said. The ratio is really bad.
I think that's the problem. Yeah, I think that's the problem, especially on Discord. But even in that wider flat earth community, it seems like the ratio is not that great. But
unless you're down for multiple husbands, then it's great. A husband for the day of the week.
That sounds taxing. So yeah, we're here, and it's Friday night, so that means it's ladies' night. And here on the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord server 2.0, we've actually, Mrs. Musk, we've had like a pre-ladies' night. I feel like today there was like a bunch of ladies in here talking like a lot of the day, which doesn't always happen.
The men were getting triggered.
I know. So yeah, because we had Jenny was here earlier, which I asked her, she's coming to ladies' night. She said she couldn't make it, but that was the first time I heard her speak, and she takes her debut, at least for me, was getting into a debate with Witsit. Like, yeah, wow, yeah. So, it's nice to see more ladies around, because as we've said many times, that we ladies don't have to come just on ladies' night. It's not like you're relegated and only allowed to speak Friday, from 5 to 9 or whatever. You are allowed to speak at other times. So, and maybe we can do something to right this ratio and get more, women turned on to this concept of flat Earth.
Yes, ladies, don't be submissive in the server. Speak your mind.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. There was a long... I told you I was going to take a nap, Mrs. Musk, because they kept dragging me into there in all these conversations. They were so interesting today. Like, that was one of them. Yes. What is the idea of feminine submission? What does that mean? Yeah, we can continue. If there's no Globers around, we can continue any of those conversations, Mrs. Musk, and then Witsit won't be able to argue with you. So
exactly. That's why I'm firing shots now, because they can't talk back.
Because the source is weak.
I'll be polite when it's over. I'll be all sweet again. Don't worry.
So yeah, the Flat Earth Ladies Night, the original idea was, multifaceted, which was one, to encourage more ladies to participate in this server in particular, to encourage more ladies to look into the concept of Flat Earth in general, and to the ladies of the Flat Earth who often have different approach toward discussing the concepts of flat Earth with people have their chance to speak, usually to the Globers, regarding the irrefutable information that the globe model is a complete failure and our Earth measures flat. So if there's anyone listening on the YouTube, or if there's people in this live stream that have no roles, so you don't have the VC verified role, see that Panto and the XO and Truth Prevails are all there in the check-in. So there you got 3 people who could check you in. Excellent opportunity to check in, and the VC check-in process is just having a short conversation with you to give you the role so that we, make sure that you're capable of just holding a civil conversation, and so on, and basically not a troll. That's all I can say. And so, because we do have a lot of mostly teenager types that just like to come in here and be disruptive, so it's not like a huge interrogation or anything. Just don't be intimidated. It's just how'd you find the server? Do you agree to follow the rules? Maybe what's been your experience before with flat Earth, and so on. Just a few simple questions. No big deal. And then once you have the role, the VC verified, as people who have it know, then you aren't required to speak, but if you wish, you can unmute your microphone and join the conversation at a suitable time. And also, you don't have to wait. I mean, right now I'm doing a little intro, so you have to wait till I'm done with the intro. But in general, we're just talking here because in between, globe believers coming in, sometimes we just chatter among ourselves. Just feel free to speak up if you think of a question. That's perfectly fine. Although, as we were discussing earlier with Shinji, as Truth Prevails explained, the idea here is for the Flat Earth ladies to answer the questions. But that doesn't mean that no one else can speak, and kind of the veteran Flat Earth guys, they kind of take a back seat, and they do also keep working if they're here. A lot of them do. They don't have to. They can just sit here and enjoy, but many of them do help us by putting in links and information in the live stream voice text, which we always appreciate. So, did I miss anything, Mrs. Musk?
I think you hit it straight on the head.
Good. So yeah, we've got Mrs. Musk, we've got Shines, Truth Prevails is up in the check-in. Let me see who else we've got here. KJ has the ladies' night role. If anyone else wants to chime in and say hello, feel free. I might not see every lady that's in here, so feel free to speak up if I missed you, and then other ladies will trickle in, and it's kind of like a relay. That's how it kind of ends up being, people kind of started out, and then other ladies come in, and then they finish it up, and we have quite a group. We have grown a group here of Flat Earth ladies, and I am very happy about that. It's been going great, so I appreciate everyone who's here for the ladies' night. So with that said, does anyone who is new here, so Jim 66%, you asked about the Flat Earth dating site. Are you a Flat Earther, Jim 66%? He's still there, Jim Dandy. He's just typing in there, now he's unmuted. Hello there, Jim. You're speaking, we can't hear you, but I do see that you unmuted. So I don't know. You're trying to speak. There could be an issue with your mic. But in that case, you or anyone else can go to settings, voice and video, and you can press a little thing that says, let's check. And then you can see if your voice is working or not. See, Mr. Miskar, see this FE dating site. They all want to know about that. Yeah, I know nothing about that. So you guys will have to sort that out among yourselves in the voice text.
Yeah, my internet's not very good here.
Okay, we can kind of hear you. We heard you you're roboting like a tiny bit. So, if you can't answer me here, you could answer me in the text. But I just wondered if you understood that the globe model is a complete mathematical and logical failure.
Oh, I understand that 100%. I've been listening for a while. I've been back by Eddie Bravo. Some other guys went down a rabbit hole,
Oh, you have listened to more because in my notes section here, I have FE question mark. So I'll get rid of the question mark, delete the question mark, just have it be
Yeah,
FE.
I don't have
So I
any.
must have heard you talk before I
No.
saw something that you said.
Yeah, I've been listening for a while on YouTube, and man, there's some vile people on that chat.
Oh my gosh, Jim. Yes, there is. Yes. But
Wow.
Helio is cracking down. So Jim 66% and anyone else who's listening on YouTube, they are vile, yes. But for a while, like Helio goes back and forth with his philosophy on it. And if he were here, I'm sure he would, wax poetical with you about why he does the things the way he does. But at one point, he kind of like had no one modding the chat because he wanted to see what would happen. So he was doing like a laissez-faire experiment. And you saw what happened. The like most toxic, vile people ever known to man started dominating the chat all day. Rocket Man, Flurf Annihilator. Sorry, toxic person, if I don't call you out. Those are the top two. Yeah, put those down. Yeah, gold medal, Rocket Man, silver medal, Flurf Annihilator as being the most toxic people in the YouTube chat. Excellent. Well done. If that's what you were going for, you achieved it. Because they not only, let me tell you, Jim, 66%, they'll sit there all day in the YouTube chat and say, flat earthers are this, flat earthers are dumb, flat earthers don't have any evidence, flat earthers are this and that. Flat earth is dying, which is just like so funny. I heard Whitson earlier say he's seeing it in live time. There's way more flat earthers than you guys think there is because people are afraid to say it because of the social shaming, like what's put on by Rocket Man and Flurf Annihilator. But in the real world, there's tons of them. But you go to the YouTube chat and they are trying to, like their PR is, flat earth is what I can't remember how they say it, like flat earth is dying. Like, yeah, sure it is. You wish. You know it's growing. And your presence in the YouTube chat all day and night, Rocket Man, just shows how much it's growing. You're so scared of it. You got to hang out there in the YouTube chat, but you're afraid to come in here and debate a girl about it. I gave him an engraved invitation to come in here and debate me one-on-one. I told him I would mute everyone else in the server and then in the live stream, and he said, I don't want to debate, I just want to discuss. I said, okay, we'll have a discussion then, no problem. But they like to just claim, oh, they'll mute us, they'll do this, they'll talk over. It's like, yeah, why don't you just come in here and put your money where your mouth is? You don't get to hang out in the chat of the YouTube channel that exists because of this server and refuse to come in here and give us your evidence. Why don't they come in and give us their evidence? Because they don't have any. So, anywho, if there do happen to be any people in the YouTube chat who have evidence of curvature or rotation, by all means, come in and present it for us. We're waiting. We would love to see the scientifically verified evidence of either of these things that people just believe and they're sure that someone somehow for sure figured this out, right? That's what I thought, because I was a person, who went to school for a heck of a long time to be able to tell other people we live on a globe. And I was sure that for sure I wasn't like just passing that on with them. Somebody must have checked this sometime, right? So then when I was forced to go check, I found out nobody checked it. In fact, not only didn't they check it, they took the original errors and they compounded them and just made them worse and worse and worse. And they have no math to back them up, no geometry, no science. And how could they have science? Because you can't observe the globe and you have to make a natural observation to have science. All they have is stuff in their heads and propaganda. So, of course, the YouTube chat people you mentioned are cowards. So don't any of you in there ever listen to any of them or believe them or make you feel bad about yourself or doubt, whatever. You don't have to go around like Whitsett and tell the whole world if you don't want. Whitsett is a very brave person. He's not the only one who does that. People who are willing to do that is amazing. You are amazing. I'm sorry. But you can know this to be true. You can look into it for yourself. And it will help you in your life and dealing with your family and just dealing with reality and making decisions in general. Not everyone has to be an evangelizer. That's a bad word to use because it's not a belief. Not everyone has to be a Witsit, all right? But we're glad we have these leaders that are willing to go out there and just tell them at the NBA Finals, shouting to the crowd, in Milwaukee, that the earth is flat, and that is totally cool. But because the tide is changing, and people who get on the train now, you guys will be like, head of the game, especially these young people. It's like, just look into it, see what you find out. Don't be afraid to look into it.
You guys know your stuff. I like listening to you and I think it's Truth Prevails, and there's some other ladies. You guys know your stuff. I mean, I'm just new at this and trying to learn, So.
This is a good place to learn. I totally agree. Yes, I have learned a ton here. I've learned, about, so much, and I keep learning. That's the thing. None of us can know everything. Like, there's always more to learn. I mean, that's the exciting thing. Yeah. So, we've got some other, I don't know what's going on with Flying Scotsman. I thought he was already here, but then I saw he was in the check-in getting checked in. Now he's VC verified again. I don't know what that's about. Are you there, Flying Scotsman? Do you want to tell us your story here?
Hello. Oh yeah, I'm back.
So did you quit? Did you get banned? What happened?
Yeah, I think I got temporarily banned or something. Yeah.
And then now you're back in, so your second chance.
Yeah.
So have you been thinking about Flat Earth while you're gone?
Yeah, a bit. I haven't really found any new evidence to back up my own claim, so I don't really have anything to add for now.
Oh my gosh, did you ladies hear that? He hasn't found any evidence to back up his claims about the globe, right?
Yeah, I mean, nothing new that I haven't already said. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if I ever talked to you. You seem familiar, and it's like you talked to some of the other ladies about the globe.
Maybe a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Actually,
What was the evidence you gave us? What did you tell us?
I'm not sure. Actually, I think maybe those other pictures.
Did you come home without bringing any bacon? Did you come back home and not bring any bacon?
Oh, I have found something more.
Okay.
I'm curious. Okay, why do you think a helium balloon goes up? What do you think causes that?
Yo, hello.
What do you think? What do you think causes that? What do you think causes that? Because you think that there's a downward force.
Yeah, I think it's the weight of the air being pulled downwards by gravity causing it to go up. And
hello, can you guys hear me?
Who's talking right now?
Clash Boomer just joined the server. Welcome to the server. So Mrs. Musk is talking to Fine Scatsman, and I bet that she will check with you in a few minutes to see if you have any questions since you're new to the server as soon as they are, done with what they're talking about, right, Mrs. Musk?
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, just remember, you guys are all black niggers.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how boring. Now I have to ban him. My gosh, why did they do this?
Can we get more original, please?
I know.
Don't ban him, just shove him in detention.
So you think the air is getting pulled underneath the balloon, and that's why the balloon is going up?
The pressure, and I have a video to show.
Okay, let's see this video.
Yeah, it's a GIF. And
okay, let's see the GIF.
I can't, but I don't have the embed perms. If someone can repost that link, then you can see it.
You want us to post your GIF of helium balloon?
Yes, please. Yeah, thank you.
Do my best.
Yeah, so here in the car, why is the helium balloon going forward when he accelerates forward?
Why is the balloon going forward when he drives forward?
Yeah. And
because it's not going backwards.
Yeah, and see the pendulum goes backwards, but the helium
is the balloon attached to the car?
Yeah, it's attached to the floor.
Yeah. Okay. So it's attached to the floor of a moving car.
Yeah, but see how the balloon.
So when I hold a balloon, and I'm walking with a balloon, is it going to go in the same direction that I'm walking because it's attached to me? Yeah, it's going to follow me.
Okay. So see the pendulum swinging backwards as he's accelerating. See the tiny little weight hanging from the roof next to the balloon on the left.
All right, what are you trying to point? Like, what are you trying to show us through this?
I'm trying to show that basically as he accelerates, all the air in the car is moving backwards, and because the helium balloon is less dense, it's going forwards. Which seems
what if it's just because the car is moving?
No, it is actually because of the density. It is actually because of the density. I can prove that.
Yeah, so why?
Yes, we're going to get into that. Yeah. But I was just trying to show with his example that... Okay, so wait. Okay, so if the balloon wasn't attached to the car, if it was just floating, what do you think would happen?
The balloon would go backwards. The balloon would go backwards because...
I think it still go forwards.
Well, it kind of matters because it would go forwards. No, it would go forwards because the momentum preservation of the balloon would get overridden by the density. The buoyancy is much stronger here.
Yeah. So do you agree? It's the acceleration causing that. The acceleration.
Well, so this is the problem, though. If you're trying to compare this to the Earth, then anything that leaves the inertial reference frame of the Earth should still spin in the direction that the Earth is spinning. But that's not true at all.
Yeah, and it's not even analogous to the Earth because it's like the car is enclosed anyway. They try to claim that the air is moving with the Earth without being contained is what they're claiming. So it's not even analogous to the Earth.
Well, they're just like there's two separate issues. So one thing you're asking, why does the helium balloon go up? And then the second question you're asking is, why is the helium balloon moving forward when it's attached to an object that's also moving forward?
No, I mean forward relative to the car. You can see how the string's on an angle that leans forward while the pendulum leans backward.
If the kid wasn't in a seatbelt and the guy stopped really hard on the brakes, the kid's going to fly forward.
Yes, and the balloon would go backwards.
Because it's in an object that's moving.
Yeah, so why would the balloon go the opposite way as a kid?
He's proving density.
Yeah, so do you believe
because all the air's like I mean it just I'm like thinking like I'm trying to figure out what your point is with this, like what you're trying to establish with it, because it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's like it only establishes what we're claiming, like our side. It doesn't help the globe if that's what you're. So
yeah, it actually kind of.
Yes, so you said the kid would fly forward if he slammed on the brakes, and also the balloon would go backwards.
Show me a video of a balloon unattached in the car. The guy stands on the brake and the helium balloon.
Yeah,
is going to go.
It wouldn't work because it'd be touching against roof. But if you timed it right, it would act the same as it does when it's on the string.
The balloon will go backwards because the more dense air in the car is going forward, which is pushing the balloon backward.
Ding, ding, ding.
Is that like a gradient in the car caused by the acceleration? I mean, what is a gradient?
It's just the more dense air is going forward, so the balloon seeks equilibrium, and the more dense air is pushed forward from the stopping quickly, and then so the balloon would go back because the more dense air is going forward. So same as if you went around a curve, instead of the balloon going out towards the curve, it would actually go in because the more dense air would be pushed outward due to centrifugal force, which would push the balloon inward.
If the car was turning to the side.
Yes, if it was going through a curve.
Okay. If he was turning the car to the right, he would be leaning to the left, and the balloon would lean to the right.
Yes, and if you accelerated really fast, the more dense air would be pushed back from the force of acceleration, which would push the balloon forward instead of backward.
Yeah, so do you agree it's the acceleration causing the air to be denser and heavier on the one side, which pushes the balloon forward? Yes. So if you take that car and pretend it's facing the sky, the air being accelerated down from gravity propels the balloon up in the same way as what's happening in the car.
Say that again?
Yeah, so the acceleration.
He's saying that gravity is pulling all the air down, and that's what's causing the balloon to be pushed up. And
Yeah.
Gravity's not force.
The buoyancy exists because of gravity.
okay, show me where gravity is Show me where gravity is affecting air at all. It's like air moves in all directions; it moves in all vectors, and this is. Someone else. I don't have the. Go ahead, Kyle. Anyone.
Oh, I was just saying his analogy is such shit. I'm so sorry, because with this balloon, what you're saying is that the balloon is going to go in a certain direction if it's attached to the car versus if it's not attached to the car. This is not demonstrable on Earth. The second an object leaves the inertial reference frame, it can go either direction. It doesn't have to go one direction. Like clouds. Clouds are not attached to the Earth. They're in the moving atmosphere, and they can go in
whatever
direction.
The weather and
So if there was really acceleration, if we were really spinning, we would see this happen. Where if you let a balloon go in the air, then they should all go one direction backwards. Or if they're attached, they should go one direction. I'm just saying your analogy does not relate to the Earth whatsoever, because that's not.
Sorry.
No, it's just such a weird one too.
It's just really
so weird.
He's using his imagination to try to come up with these hypothetical assumptions of how it could be happening in order to make it work.
Well, not just that. There's also confounding variables. There's so many confounding variables within this car. It's not analogous, and I still don't understand his point of how this in any way, shape, or form helps the boat. Like at all.
It doesn't. Not with some validation that. Well, first we need curvature anyway, and they don't have that. So even this, like, it's kind of without curvature. I don't even see any of it would be really. And there's no, like, you'd have to demonstrate that there is a force acting upon the gas molecules, because we don't observe that happening anywhere.
Can I have a say in this?
You're gonna say gravity and buoyancy?
No, not that.
I ain't doing it is new, but I think I ain't doing it might be. Are you a flat earther? I ain't doing it or no?
No,
And you'll have to mute your mic when you're not talking because you're echoing real bad.
It's probably because of the ventilation.
Go ahead. What do you want to say anyway? That's fine. Just go ahead.
I was just saying that, some flat earthers just gave me an experiment saying that show me how water stays on a rotating ball. Yeah, you know of this?
So we're we're going off. We're switching topics now.
No. This is the thing.
Wait a minute. I ain't doing it. I don't know. Like, I feel like you need to be introduced to flat Earth basics because Mr. What's his name? The Scotsman is kind of a veteran here. So I don't know, Mrs. Musk. Whatever you want to do. If you still want to finish it with the Flying Scotsman and then move on to I ain't doing it. Whatever you want to do.
Oh no, we can move on. I was just saying if we're going to talk about if we're just going to move. I mean, if it's related to gravity, then that's fine.
Yeah, it is.
But I guess in this case, we were kind of talking about axial rotation and gravity. But yeah, whatever you guys want to do.
But you say, or I heard someone say, gravity's not a force or something. But do we all agree? If we drop a pencil, it will accelerate downwards at 9.8 meters a second squared.
It will just fall.
Yeah. And we've observed it at a rate.
It does that because you pick it up and move it out of its place of equilibrium is what we see an effect. Like you are calling that effect that we're seeing gravity without any validation or.
Well, so what if you move the pencil sideways on the table? If you let go, would it go sideways the other way, or does it go down? I disagree with your explanation.
Same equilibrium.
Moving it sideways is still keeping it in the same area of equilibrium. So I don't know what you.
Yeah, but why does it go straight perpendicular down to the floor?
Because you took it out of equilibrium.
You're wondering why.
applied force and took
Okay,
it out
if
of
I have a
equilibrium.
pencil, I sit it on the table and leave it there for 2 years without touching it. I then flick it sideways off the table. It will then start curving. It will go sideways and curve down and land on the ground. Why is that?
Okay, fine.
Well, what angle did you hit it at? Like you're
It doesn't
hitting it
matter,
at
it
an
will
angle,
eventually
so
go
it's
back
falling
down.
at an angle. You're hitting it. You're applying a force to it yourself.
I could hit
like
it
a
any
door.
direction.
When I open up a door, okay, I'm opening up the door sideways, and then when I let it go, it closes sideways. It doesn't close down. It closes sideways because I've just applied a force to it, opening it up. It's just seeking its state of rest again.
Okay, let's get into this, Flying Scotsman. If you're going to say that something is the cause of the effect that you're seeing, how would you determine that?
Well, I drop a pencil loads of times and
No, how
in
would you
different
test it?
directions.
How would you test it?
By dropping loads of pencils and observing which directions they go when
Well,
I
you're
let go.
still just observing the effect. You're just observing the effect.
Oh,
over
yeah,
and
I
over and
agree.
over.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
yeah.
listen, you're not coming to the conclusion of what's the cause. So how would you test to determine what is the cause
Yeah.
of this effect that you're observing?
Yeah.
You would
or
have
my-
to to identify it, right? So whatever you're going to claim that is the effect, the cause of this effect, you're going to have to identify what that is. You're going to have to isolate it. You're going to have to be able to manipulate it to see if it changes, how it affects, how this effect changes, right? So show me where anyone has ever, or where you can identify this thing called gravity, manipulate it, and determine that it is the cause of the effect that you're seeing. Because I can show you some other things, right?
Yeah.
I can show you some other variables that have been manipulated, identified, isolated, and manipulated, and it does affect, like change this effect that you're seeing. It does change where an object finds its equilibrium. Okay, but none of those are gravity. So if you're claiming gravity is the cause of this effect that you're seeing, then let's see some demonstration of this.
Yeah, I'm not saying I know how gravity works. I'm just saying there's some kind of force that pulls the
You're
pencil
saying
down.
that it is something, but you have to identify this thing you're saying exists.
Yeah.
That's what
Well,
I'm saying.
yeah, we've just named the phenomena gravity, or we've named what we. I disagree with Einstein's thing saying it's curvy space time. Like, I don't understand that, and I'm not saying it's not true or anything. It's just whether it's mass affects mass or whatever, we don't know. But do we all agree there is something that causes objects to go down at 9.8
There's
meters?
many different variables that will change where an object finds its equilibrium. Meaning, there's several different ones that I'm aware of, but none of those are gravity. And what I'm saying is, if you're claiming that gravity is a thing, no one has ever identified gravity and presented it to us and said, "Look, right, we tested, we isolated it. Right, here's what it is. This is what it is." No one's ever done that.
Can I ask the man a question?
So can you do that?
Well, I mean, we have measured gravity. We drop objects and we measure that they accelerate at 9.8 meters a
No,
second. until they
you've
hit something.
measured the different changes of this effect, but you haven't measured the cause. You haven't identified the cause.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah, like
Yeah.
we observe the
Yeah,
pencil
so-
going down.
We've got
don't
two
know
new
what-
people
sorry.
on. I'm just going to say, I mean, we got Oscar and I ain't doing it. So I just want to make sure that we find, because they're the new people that just got checked in. So, Flying Scotsman, you ladies can keep talking to him. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that.
If another
This is,
global
I asked you if you brought evidence of curvature and rotation, and now you brought us a balloon. And now, we're talking about gravity. It's like
Yeah, I was
neither one of those
interested in your
things are neither. I just want to clarify, just for the record, Your Honor, neither a helium balloon in a car nor arguing about a pencil and gravity is scientific evidence of either curvature or rotation, which was the original question I asked him approximately 20 minutes ago. So just for the record, just wanted to say that. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah,
I was
that's
just going
good.
to say, how
I
does he
think-
know? Oh, sorry.
Well, if you want, no, if you want to continue, I was just going to say maybe what we could do is move on to the other ones while giving Flying Scotsman some time to maybe gather some of this evidence. And
Yeah,
bring
thank you.
something-
I just wanted to talk about the blue.
Can I ask him a question real quick?
Yeah.
Are you a lady?
Oscar? I think that's. Oh, that's somebody else. Oh no, that's who is just saying that. Oscar?
Scratch.
Oh, Oscar is okay. Oscar just has his mic on and it just keeps lighting up. That's what's going on. Okay, thank you for muting, Oscar. So we do want to welcome you. Scrat. Oh, Scrat is flat. Okay, so you're a VEC verified. Tell me what you want to ask him, then we'll decide if we want him to answer or not.
Yes, it's ladies' night. So
Einstein. He said he didn't believe Einstein's version of gravity. I was just wondering if he trusts Richard Feynman's judgment, because Richard Feynman.
Okay, we'll put that on the table. Yeah, we'll put that on the table. I don't want to hear Flying Scotsman pontificate about gravity anymore myself. I mean, we can go back to that, and if he has any evidence, curvature, or rotation that he finds in the meantime, you guys can talk to him about it, after ladies' night, all night long, if you want. Talk to him about, all the fine details of all that stuff. But I just first, for sure, before we go on Flying Scotsman, because he is not really a new person. He's been banned. Oh, which I was going to, while you ladies were talking, go and research who banned him and so on. And he's returned to us, so he's on his second chance. I'm just going to go ahead right now and give him the second chance roll. Flying Scotsman, welcome back to the server. But the people who are here new, I feel like, don't you think, ladies, we should find out what's up with those people, and then maybe go back to Flying Scotsman, and find out if he's found any of that proof, scientific, verifiable, testable, and repeatable evidence of either curvature or rotation. Oscar, welcome to the server. You were we heard like some static kind of coming from your mic, but we didn't actually hear you speak. I don't know if you were trying to speak. Are you there, Oscar? Oh, you were up there with Panto for a while on the check-in.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. You know what? I didn't realize that my mic was on when I entered the room. So my apologies.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a problem. No, it wasn't a problem. I just thought you were the one talking when Scrat and Flat was talking. I thought that was you. It was not like disturbing or anything. It was just like a little air sound. It was nothing big. So yeah. So how did you find the server?
David Weiss posted a video with Witsit Gets It, and on one of it, I think on that video there were. Or on the website, I can't remember. There was a link to the server. So
yes, Witsit puts the link to our Discord in all of his videos, which we really appreciate because he gets a lot of views and has a lot of followers. So we do really appreciate Witsit doing that. Which Witsit video did David Weiss put out?
It was basically Witsit just kind of. Riffing for a half an hour on the most basic points of like the kind of the 101 of flat Earth, and he just for like a whole 30 minutes he's just talking about point after point after point after point, and just has all these references. And it was something that he released recently. I'll look for the link and post it in the chat in the text.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'd like to see it. I didn't realize that David Weiss put up one of Witsit videos.
It was awesome. It was inspiring.
So, are you a person who understands that the globe model is a complete logical and mathematical failure?
Yeah, and I liked how Witsit brought up the very crux of how I came to realize that it was a false model. And that was the 8 inches per mile squared formula. And anybody that tries to look for this as a reality does not find it. And I'm like, oh my God, that means that the whole model is a sham because everything else falls apart. Just from that one thing. And he kind of says that. He says that in the video, essentially. On those words, but that was the the moment where I was like, oh my God, yeah, if I'm being intellectually honest, the fact that this 8 inches per mile squared isn't a reality, you can't get around that, or at least not for me. I couldn't get around that. And it just kind of, it just grew from there, and I just started watching more videos but I just recently came across Witsit, and that was from the Dave Weiss videos that he's put up recently.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's important that you brought up. Yeah, the direct measurement. Yeah, because that in that information is not easily available. Like here in the Discord server, we talk about it, all day, all night long. But out there in the real world, you've got people like the real world, I should say, the physical world, whatever you want to call it, the non-Discord world. Discord is real, right? We're here. But anyway, in the non-Discord world, you've got more people, I think, like the Flying Scotsman, making more progress with their obfuscation, and their distractions and their ad hominems about flat earthers and so on. All of that just too obscure. Like, okay, you guys claim you got a globe here. We, did the math. This even Google. You Google what's the curvature of the Earth. It says the curvature of the Earth means that it increases at the rate of 8 inches per mile squared. That Google tells us that. That's not us telling you that. That's you guys telling us that. And then we calculate, okay, well, that means I shouldn't see the city of Chicago across Lake Michigan like Sonny just put up there in the voice text. I mean, it's very simple. It's just people try to make it way more complicated than it is. So that's cool. We're glad you're here. Welcome to the server.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it's pretty amazing how they use math to construct this false reality. Because, and I bring that up because there's this inherent trust in math and mathematics and, arithmetic, right? But, it just depends on the model. So, their model is false.
Yeah, and their math, you can use math to disprove their model. I mean, that's the thing that's the catch-22 is that yes, they can take this presupposition of the radius 3,959 miles, and they can do all kind of fancy calculations and say, oh, look at this, it all works out within this presuppositional model. But, anyone who is, even has a tiny bit of common sense, who sees, no, you never measured that. There's no way to determine that, you have not accurately or scientifically determined that radius. You have not measured the radius, and you're just making claims. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Well, we hope you stick around. I want to welcome I Ain't Doing It. Welcome to the server.
Yeah.
So you wanted to say something about a water ball earlier. So you've got some ideas there about, you already have some ideas about flat earth. So you must have had some exposure to the topic before, even though I think you just joined our server. So how did you find the server?
Yeah.
You mean IR is not doing it?
Yeah.
So triggers me, man. I hate that.
Truth Prevails doesn't like the word ain't. Is that what you...
Because you're essentially saying IR is not doing it.
I don't know. Martoth, I think you are hot miking possibly, Martoth, even though we hardly ever hear from you. So we'd like to hear it from you, even if you're just rummaging around the room there, but maybe you don't know that you're unmuted, Martoth. So, yeah. Did you check I Ain't Doing It in Truth Prevails?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And he really, I don't know too much about the background about how he came into it. So maybe he could share that and introduce himself if he feels like it. If he does it, then he can continue to, discuss like where he started to and while we were up there. Cause I kind of, told him to wait and bring it down here. So he does have something on his mind.
Mic check. Anybody hear me?
Yep. You're coming in.
Coming in clear. Hi, guys. Took me a while to get it running again.
Who is that? Now I'm confused. Who is that? Oh, is that Damsel Medic talking?
It's Damsel. Hi, guys.
Hello. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, glad you're here.
Howdy. Yeah, I was listening. Flying Scotsman. How did he actually get the pin in the air first to drop it? He imparted energy.
Yeah, so what if I pulled the pen sideways off a bookshelf instead of up? Would
it have fallen if it was on the ground, or did you have to move it? You imparted energy.
Yeah, but I could move it in any direction, but it always
you could. Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that you don't see that's part of the issue.
Well, that's
That you're
just
doing the
not
work.
Exactly.
energy, is it?
You're doing the work. You're imparting energy, kinetic energies in there.
Yeah, but
How
why
do
does
you know?
energy
We know that.
How do you know it's not you? And
That's
that
what I'm
it's
saying.
gravity?
You
Yeah, like
imparted
exactly.
the energy. You created a kinetic energy by putting it up on something, even if you knock it off,
So
put it in a
what is up?
direction.
What is up? Why does
That's
up
you putting in energy, which means things will go back to equilibrium. You changed it.
I could move the pencil
That's right.
sideways
You
to a
did.
different table, and
You did. Yeah.
it doesn't jump back to
And
the
then
original
and then
table.
You did.
so then it seeks its equilibrium. So the question goes back to why do objects seek their equilibrium?
What do you mean?
Can you
Equilibrium?
answer that? Can you answer that for us?
Okay, say I take the pencil, I
Uh-huh.
grab it, and I put it on the couch. It won't jump back to the table. It will now sit on the couch.
Yes, why so why do objects seek equilibrium? Can you answer that for us?
Define equilibrium in the context of the
What you
pencil.
just said. You just said it seeks it's at rest now. It's at rest. So why does the pencil
So
seek
why doesn't it
equilibrium?
hover in midair when I let go? I didn't push the pencil down. I just let go, but the pencil suddenly goes straight down.
Where
instead
it
of hovering
returns,
midair.
yes, it seeks its equilibrium.
Equilibrium with the
doesn't return
density.
to the table. It goes
The density of the medium. You are totally leaving out what is actually there in front of you.
It will
What is
work
going
in
on?
vacuum too.
You're dealing with mediums. You're dealing with density. You're dealing with things that have to seek those equilibriums. You imparted an energy, even if you just set it up high. You did that. Now it has the potential to fall if you hit it off the side.
Oh, where? Why? is it
Because
going down?
again, it has to seek its equilibrium within the medium.
Yeah, but why down? Why doesn't it fly up to the roof instead?
Because it's not lighter. It's not as less dense.
Relative to
It
what?
seeks its to the density of all the mediums that you are dealing with, whether it be air, ground, water, whatever.
Yeah,
Gas.
but what's that got to do with the direction that it falls?
That is what you are doing. Haven't you ever done an equilibrium test where you put layers
like
of different
oil,
mediums in a vessel of some sort and
Yeah.
watch them separate out? That is why it does that. It's their density. Relative density makes all the difference.
Yeah, but why is there a direction?
Why? It just does. That's what is in the natural world. Density and mediums play a role, and you're going to seek equilibrium.
But
I
all
think
of the laws of nature.
I think Scotsman got a point because you say that the density is the cause of this, but the density is like, what is it causing? What is it tending it to do?
It's causing
Are you saying
It causes the behavior you're observing.
if density can cause just what is it called? Let me.
What just happened?
You do realize that this has been something that's been observed forever. This is figured out by science a long time ago. You're just trying to import something extra that doesn't even need to actually be there because you still have.
A few minutes ago, someone told me someone in this VC said that when a pencil drops, it falls down. And you say, what's causing that? Yeah, and he said that again.
You imparted energy and you let it go.
Yeah, but
You raised it out of its equilibrium by imparting energy, and
Yeah.
there you are.
yeah, but there are experiments where they could create a vacuum, and when an object was in the vacuum, the object would still fall down. I have some.
You've changed the medium again. It's still a medium. They don't ever have 100% vacuum.
They don't have a
You reduced it, yeah, but you have not a perfect vacuum.
Ladies, would you mind if I ask this individual a question?
Nope, you got to put it in the chat because it's ladies' night. Sorry, Elijah.
Okay, so if it was a vacuum, what would happen? Would happen to the pencil if it was a complete vacuum? What do you think would happen?
It's going to
Things
fall
will
down.
still seek equilibrium. It doesn't change the fact that that's going to happen.
Yeah, but what would happen if it was a vacuum?
It would be the same, no different. You still have the same issues going on.
No. Just imagine a place.
I can imagine all kinds of things.
No. Nothing exists. Only that pen.
Nothing exists, and I have no pen.
Only
It's
that pen.
echoing so
Only
bad.
that pen.
Can you fix
See,
it?
you're not dealing with reality or matter or the laws that we do know that are immutable and they happen all the time. Even in a vacuum, things do fall
I'm not
because you're still dealing with matter. You're still
there
dealing with density. You're still dealing with mediums.
You're gonna listen. You're gonna have to mute your mic when you're not talking. You've got a horrible echo. So when you stop talking, and you know someone's going to respond, mute your mic. Just
Okay, sorry.
please.
Yeah, we're hearing voices.
Mine bad? Is mine bad? Doing it the same?
No, you're good. You're good.
Good. All right.
Well, the thing is, when it is in a vacuum, there is nothing to compare its density with. So what would happen?
Yes, it's less dense.
You have had a density. You have a pen. Is it not still got a density in the pen?
It's got a density, but compared
That's
to what?
right. And you changed the medium it's flowing through. That's all you did.
Is that
Change the medium.
Is that
But-
pen in a magical floating existence of nothing? Because that nothingness, once the pen is in there, there's something. The only nature abhors a vacuum. I mean, the only vacuums we see are these contained vacuums. So
They're not perfect either.
Yeah, it's just we're in La La Land. This is the weeds.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I can imagine because it doesn't even ever happen. You don't have any examples of a perfect vacuum. But even if I did, what I still would say, it's the laws that we already see, even in a reduced.
Well, and what's so funny is all you've done in the vacuum is just dramatically reduce the air inside. So the reason the pencil is falling down in your bedroom is because the pencil is more dense than the room air. So then you now put the pencil in a place where there's even less air and less air pressure. Of course, the pencil's still going to fall down because it's still more dense than the medium. Duh.
But why down?
Why
down?
Why not
Because they seek equilibrium. But does everything go down? Does everything go down?
Yes, so that was.
Does everything go down?
Motion is relative. Motion is relative. What if it could go up? But why didn't it go up?
It's still the same causes, you guys. You got relative density seeking equilibrium once again. Some things like gases are going to go up because of the way it works. They're less dense. They're moving molecules. They're moving atoms.
No.
So
if I
there's
would
a
go,
helium balloon. No, bro, listen. Okay, if we take a helium balloon and you put just the right amount of helium and your own breath, you can get the helium balloon to literally float in midair and just stay there. It doesn't go up.
Yeah.
It doesn't go down. It just stays there perfectly in midair. Why is it doing that? Why does it do that?
Because
it's the same way they float.
We got homeboy Flying Scotsman trying to say that the air underneath is getting pulled down, and that's why things are going up. And then we got I ain't doing it saying that things why are things going down? Why the direction of down? Well, in this case, the object has seek equilibrium in midair. It's completely stationary. Same with clouds.
Yeah.
Clouds, why do clouds stop where they do? And they just stop where they are.
Yeah,
it's because they want to seek equilibrium because of their density. When the clouds get heavier, because there's more water in them, then rain, precipitation happens.
Fog,
okay,
any of those things. You get all kinds of conditions.
But when it really is, the direction is simply just based on where the object is seeking its equilibrium. That's it. You change the medium, the direction will change because the object is now out of equilibrium and it just wants to seek balance again. But that's why you see the change in direction, because you've changed the medium. And based on, so ice cubes fall down when they're in room air, they'll fall down in a vacuum chamber, but you put it in water, it goes up. It just wants to seek its equilibrium. Why objects seek equilibrium? That you'll have to send a direct message to God and get that answered. We don't know why objects want to be in perfect balance, but that's why you see objects move. Either one, they've had a force applied to them, or two, the medium has changed.
Yeah, so a pencil would reach equilibrium as it hits the floor because the force of whatever causing it to go down is not strong enough to make
because
it
it's
It's just weird to me how you guys will pick out all these different like incidents of these different effects where, and you're explaining how these other variables are being manipulated and that these changes of the effect happen, but you, and then you want to point to gravity. If you're going to claim that that's the effect, the cause of the effect, you're going to have to demonstrate that being the thing that you manipulate. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Each one of these examples that you guys are using just demonstrates these other variables that are being manipulated. Where is gravity being manipulated to be the cause?
You asked me if I believe everything goes down relative to it, and my answer is yes, I do believe that, including
Well, you're wrong.
helium balloons.
That's not
Okay,
that's not
what
the
goes
truth.
up?
Gases.
Okay, and that
always
was
fill
exactly
the
my point
container.
with the car.
Always.
There is no force pushing the balloon forward other than the air being pulled back by acceleration. So if you turn that sideways, it actually
You cannot attribute that to anything other than we don't even have a good example from what I understand. I haven't looked at your little video, but either way, you haven't demonstrated gravity from that effect. You've demonstrated again the density and the motion of bodies and reference frames. That's what you've demonstrated. You didn't prove your gravity at all.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so my claim is that a helium balloon goes up because gravity is pulling the air above it down.
Well, you're wrong.
Or down. And my video of the balloon in the car proves that.
No, it doesn't prove that at all.
Yes, there is no force pushing the balloon forward. It's only the air being
The
pulled
motion of the car would be pushing it forward. You have mediums going on that are in
back.
motion.
No, so you can see the string is on the angle.
Doesn't matter.
Did you isolate the variable of gravity and manipulate that in your video?
Yeah, thank you. There's a GIF. So see the string on angle and the pendulum goes the opposite direction.
Because if
so
you
there
didn't
is
do
nothing.
that, then it doesn't prove gravity. Well, what do you manipulate?
Okay.
This is my point. It's like you're not seeing it.
You're not even isolating the air in the car. This is not a vacuum. You can't even tell me what exactly is acting all on this thing. Do you know if the inside air, not the helium, but the air outside the balloon, how is it moving?
Oh, so what experiment would you want me to do that could prove or disprove my claim?
Again, you're going to have to manipulate the variable that you're trying to prove is the cause. And you can't do that because gravity is unmanipulated by anybody. You can't do it. You're assuming something is doing something when you can't even tell if it is because you can't manipulate it.
It is actually manipulable because Einstein said it. Acceleration can cause gravity. He said it, you know.
No,
proved it.
You don't understand how to set up an experiment then to find out and isolate what is actually a cause of something.
Einstein tried to.
I don't care about Einstein right now. Can you set up an experiment where you can manipulate the variable of gravity?
It depends on what you think gravity is.
No, it doesn't. Give me a hypothesis of how you could set up an experiment and manipulate gravity.
Yeah. If you're on an elevator, as Einstein said, if you're on an elevator and the elevator moves up, you feel a force towards the down, don't you?
That's because you're in motion, but again, you have not isolated gravity. Again, I asked you for a hypothesis to do an experiment that you could isolate gravity. That's one of the variables. That's a dependent variable.
Oh God! You
can't. You can't. You want to go to these things that don't even explain what's happening.
No.
Don't. They can be explained by motion. They can be explained by density. They're seeking equilibrium, and you're not isolating anything near to prove gravity.
Can you manipulate space-time? Space or time, the bending and warping of it. Can you do that?
Yeah, just change an object's position. It would change.
You're changing the object. Like
Just
this bending and warping of space-time, you can't do it. It's never been validated. It's like at this point, it just seems redundant to me to just keep going around in circles like this, because you're making a claim of something you've not provided any evidence for. So I don't even see, like, we've showed you and we've explained other variables, okay, that you can that has been proven to be the cause of things changing their place of equilibrium. None of those have been gravity. So until you can demonstrate this, whether you want to consider it mass attractive mass, or whether you want to, consider it bending and warping of space-time, you're going to have to demonstrate it. It's that simple. There's no. It's just like I don't know what else to say.
Your balloon is not an experiment at all. You have not isolated anything there to tell me what is going on, other than you've got forward motion. Some kind of displacement is probably happening with the air, but we don't know because you didn't isolate it. It's not isolated. You attached it to the floor of the car that is a moving reference frame. I mean, you just got all kinds of problems. You cannot say that's gravity. You don't got proof there. That is not even an experiment. That is a observation of an effect with a lot of factors involved that you have not accounted for as causing this reaction. And yet you're calling it proof of gravity. It is not. That is not an experiment that has got any way to tell me that that is absolutely gravity. Because there's a lot of things that are going on right there I can see that I know could cause exactly what you're seeing.
Yes,
you might want to go look at the dynamics and equilibrium and relative density and motion. But you have not isolated gravity in this, and there is no way for you to call it proof of gravity. There's nothing there.
Yes, so my argument is that the acceleration going backwards
again
is causing the balloon to go
backwards. Not because you're not taking into account all these other factors and eliminating them all down to you can actually attest it that it is gravity causing this. That is the problem. You don't understand. Science.
Just tell us what individual problems are causing this problem.
Stop. You are making up an assumption based on some ridiculous thing that you're trying to call a proof, and it's not. It is absolutely not. Don't try to make something proof that isn't.
What would we need to isolate?
You will have to come up with a hypothesis. I am not here to make your experiment work. You figure it out. You make up a hypothesis and you make up the variables and figure out how you're going to manipulate gravity.
I never mentioned gravity in regards to the car.
You don't have to completely.
No, you do. If you do. You
don't have to.
Yes, you do.
No. Listen here. Yeah, my argument was
okay,
this.
I'm gonna call a little time out here, so I ain't doing it. You can gather your thoughts and you can respond to Damsel Medic after we have a small break here where the ladies of the Flat Earth are going to sing happy birthday to our very own Drace, Love, Wisdom, Harmony. It's his birthday today. So who's with me to sing happy birthday?
If you start.
Are you on, Damsel? Okay, all right, let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Irene. Happy birthday to you.
Sorry, guys, my happy birthday, Grace.
More.
It's hard to do it all together, isn't it? But it worked out. He got the idea, I bet. He gave us a heart there. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we did that in case he had to go or anything.
Many more, Drace.
Yep, and many more. All right. Who were we talking to? I ain't doing it. He's got a response to you, Damsel, I think. All right, go ahead. I ain't doing
it. But we won't accept anything but an actual experiment that has to follow the scientific method. If you cannot do that, you don't get to claim proof. You don't get it.
The thing is, you don't have to isolate everything. You don't have to.
Yes, you do. It's called opinion and a story.
No.
You don't do that.
Not everything is relevant.
No,
If
not
someone
no.
here slaps me
Sorry, not-
and some other dude on the other side of the planet. No. Just listen to me. Just listen to me. Just listen to me.
I'm not going to listen
If
to you.
someone here.
It's a relative when you can do an experiment.
Now that's
Actually know a cause.
now you are in denial. Now I thought hear my opinion. What kind
No,
of
I don't want an opinion. I want a hypothesis and an experiment. If you can't do that, you cannot call something proof and not tell me that it's relative again, because that's just ridiculous. Because then I can make up anything. I can make up anything.
What?
It could be unicorn farts causing gravity. It could be unicorn dust causing the effect of the balloon doing whatever it was doing. See, you don't have proof if you don't do a proper scientific experiment. You just can't.
As I said, not everything is relevant. Some things are, but not everything. If someone here slaps me in the face and some other dude on the other side of the planet sings, I don't know, James Arthur, you slapping me will hurt me. That will not change whether he is not singing or not singing. You have to count in some specific. Like I said, they experiment with the elevator. What can cause it to, dysfunction?
What is
gravity from the earth?
Experiment.
Or anything.
Experiment. Fire.
Einstein said that an object accelerating backwards can cause gravity. That's what he said.
He said something.
Now, what can
that doesn't prove anything. I could say unicorns did it. That doesn't prove anything. So you can say whatever you like about how somebody said something. Einstein said something like that, or he wrote an equation, and it looks like it could be that works. But again, unless you do an experiment and actually can make a hypothesis, you got nothing. You got no proof. It's your claim. That's all it is. It's a belief. You've made a belief. You believe Einstein's right. That's nice.
No, I've experienced it. I've experienced what he said.
No, you didn't experience in space-time. You haven't experienced space-time.
Have you ridden an elevator?
I can't even understand what you just said.
Have you ridden an elevator?
Do you think maybe I would have ridden in an elevator just like you? That doesn't make it space-time.
Look, if you're claiming space-time, bring us a demonstration of manipulating this. It's that simple. Is there anyone else in here that's got a question? I mean, I want to make sure that
experiment and then come back, but I'm not going to argue with you anymore. You either get in a hypothesis, you get your variables, and you figure out an experiment, or forget it. It's just not real. It's a story. You're telling me a story.
The things that we discuss, we can demonstrate. If you're going to discuss it, you need to demonstrate it. It's that simple. All of these hypotheticals and going on to the other variables and claiming, I mean, you're debunking yourself when you do that. It's like you're busting your own argument because you're admitting that you are manipulating these other variables, right? While you're trying to claim it as a demonstration for gravity when you're not manipulating the gravity. So you need to bring us a demonstration of gravity being manipulated, right? Because the things that we discuss, we can demonstrate. So you need to do the same thing. If you can't demonstrate it, then there's no validity to what you're saying. Okay? And I just want to make sure that if someone else has a question, that they have a chance to ask too. So if anyone else wants to speak up and ask a question, please do so.
And we could say hi to Mitchell. I saw you asked Mitchell in the voice text if he was flat. What his view was on the Earth, and he said level and non-moving. So welcome to the server, Mitchell. That's what we like to hear. Definitely is level and non-moving, and no Globers tonight have shown any scientific, verifiable, testable, repeatable evidence of curvature or rotation. They got a lot of stories. They got a lot of nonsense and whatever. I guess in their own mind, they think they're making an argument. I don't know, what kind of argument they think they're making. But if you lived on a globe of the dimensions claimed and it was spinning around, I think you should be able to give us scientific, verifiable, repeatable, testable evidence of curvature and rotation. And no one's ever done that anywhere. So welcome to the server, Mitchell. I don't know if you can unmute and say hi or not, but
Yeah, welcome. I haven't heard you speak either, so you may have been in here for a while. I've not even checked. But
I don't know. But I
nice to
haven't
meet
seen either. Yeah, we've got Chaos, a Globe Skeptic. I don't know. Have we talked to Chaos before? I don't know. I don't know if I have.
yeah, he's spoken quite a bit. He's been in here for a minute. I'm not sure where he stands now. I am curious to know, like, if he's come to any new conclusions since he's been in here.
Oh, we have a question from the chat. Who am I supposed to ask this? He believes his feet are older than his head. It's what Einstein said with his relativity theory. I don't know. Okay, Mitchell is saying, thanks for having me. Okay, so I don't know who I'm supposed to ask that to, but that's the question from the chat. I guess I'm supposed to ask that to I Ain't Doing It. But I think it'd be better to go through the 3 points with I Ain't Doing It since he's new, unless we have somebody else with questions. Who wants to go through the 3 points with I Ain't Doing It? Anybody? There, I ain't doing it. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I'm just searching for.
Okay, so okay, you're searching for proof. Okay, you're searching for curvature rotation. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, not like that, but
anywho, we're going to go through the 3 points with you if you want to stick around. So, and then you can get the 3 points participant roll, and then you won't have to go through the 3 points again. So the first question, I ain't doing it. It's something we just do with new people in the server, just to get an idea of where your head's at. This method of questioning was developed by a friend, Miggy. So the first question, I ain't doing it, is at what time in history was curvature scientifically measured, demonstrated, and proven? Curvature of the Earth.
Scientifically, I don't think there have evidence.
He doesn't think they have evidence. You heard it here, ladies. He said, I don't think they have evidence. Excellent. All right, we're on to question number 2. They don't. You're absolutely right. All right, 1 out of 3 so far. These aren't supposed to be necessarily right or wrong, but you got that one right. They don't have any evidence of curvature of the Earth. Absolutely true. Number 2, at what time in history was rotation in regards to our Earth where we live scientifically verified, demonstrated, and proven?
Wait, I didn't get the question.
Okay, at what time? So we are told that we're spinning, right? Told we're spinning, and then that's what causes the day and night cycle, even though day and night cycle is perfectly fine on a flat Earth, works perfectly well with the sun moving across the sky and leaving your field of vision just as it appears due to perspective. No problem with sun on a flat Earth. Your wild model where it spins around while the Earth is moving and it's all these things are traveling and moving. There's all kind of rotation and moving they say is happening. When and who verified that our Earth is spinning?
None?
We hear you.
Did you say?
Here.
Did you say?
None? Because there is no one on moon for 24/7, I guess.
No one's ever verified it, right? You think they'd have to be on the moon to verify it? So, do you,
No,
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, do you think they went to the moon in 1969? 1972?
Yeah.
Do you think they went there?
Been.
Why didn't they
Yeah, for
verify
sure
it for us then?
You think that you could go up there and stay for there for 24/7 and 1969? Do you think you could go there and stay there for that long time?
They said they stayed there for a week. Definitely. That's the fairy tale that in your model, they said that. Yeah, I don't know if it was the 69 one or the 72, but I know somebody on this server told me that. I was shocked when I first heard that, and they looked it up, and I saw that's their claim, that they hung around there for a week. Yeah, they said that. But anywho, so you're saying nobody did. Nobody did, right?
On the moon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Truth revealed. Okay, so your answer for number 2 is nobody proved that we are spinning. Absolutely. Very good. You're doing so well. I ain't doing it. Wow, I'm impressed. All right, so you got both of those right. I mean, that is, verifiably and easy to see that it's true. They have not. So they do have a right answer, even though I said they didn't. But I guess it's more like we accept if you believe the fairy tale, but apparently you don't. You know that it's never been shown. You just believe anyway. You have a lot of faith. Wow. This guy's very religious. Wow. He knows there's no proof and he still believes. Huh. All right. So question number 3, how does our atmosphere, which is a pressurized atmosphere, exist next to the vacuum or near vacuum of space, whatever their latest fairy tale is, without the gas, since we observe that gas moves from areas of high pressure to areas of low pressure and also expands to fill any container which it is in. How is our atmosphere existing next to this near vacuum of space without dispersing into this alleged empty space?
Well, as you know, no, I don't think you don't even believe it. So,
no, he's
if
answering. Okay.
If Earth was spherical, and it had this so-called fairy tale gravity that you call, then the air around it should just go towards the center, not towards the outside. And vacuums don't suck air.
I didn't say they did.
Vacuum cleaner to empty space.
My gosh, I ain't doing it. You better not try to pull that with me. I never said any vacuum sucked anything.
Yeah.
You think just because I'm a lady, I'm thinking about a vacuum cleaner? I'm not. I never said it would suck. I said the gas would go from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure or expand to fill its container, because that's what gas does. And that's what we see it do everywhere on the earth. So how is natural law and the second law of thermodynamics being violated by the fantasy realm of outer space? It's not what you just said. It's not, oh, she's a lady. She thinks she's up there vacuuming stuff. I know what a vacuum is. So cut with the attitude. Give me an answer to the question.
So if the vacuum is sucking the air, then what's the use of air going outwards of the Earth?
Are you going back to sucking? What did you just say? Say that again, slower.
If vacuum don't pull things from what's it called, high density air, if vacuum don't pull things from high density air, then the
no
air
vacuum up there. Who's got the vacuum cleaner meme for this guy? Did we invent that meme for him? Yeah.
Nope, nobody has it invented.
Why are you even talking about the sucking? You're the only one who brought up the sucking.
No. Osmosis has proved that high density goes towards low density. But if vacuum don't have anything in it, from your perspective, the air should just go to the vacuum. But it is not going. Oh,
please give me a Mrs. Doubtfire. That cheered me right up. I like that one. Yeah, let's put Mrs. Doubtfire out there in space to vacuum up the atmosphere. Good idea. I'm sorry. If anyone else wants to talk to him about whatever it is he's saying, go ahead. I gave him the role. You got the 3 points. I ain't doing it. You got the 3 points participant role, and I do appreciate you participating in this exercise. Oh, okay. You can keep going on about that. So you're telling me, what is your explanation for why the gas that is in our atmosphere does not leave, and we have a pressurized system here in the atmosphere? Can you just give me a short answer of what your explanation is?
Well, I was asking you that why isn't this just vacuum doesn't have anything in it? Then from our experiments on osmosis, we should know that that air should go from high density towards low density. Then why isn't it going there? My question is, my question to you.
Liquid going through a membrane? What? How does that have to do with the gas? What are you talking about?
Right.
You think it's going through a membrane? You think there's a container in the earth?
I think he's asking you the same question you're asking.
It has tendency. Osmosis is happening because they have tendency to go from high density towards low density.
What I hear is that he's asking you the same question you're asking him.
Yeah, I mean, osmosis can occur across a membrane with gases, but so you're claiming that we are live in a contained system, and there's some kind of membrane there in between our atmosphere and outer space. I ain't doing it.
The membrane here is not what is it called.
You're going to speak
membrane
like he
is not-
understands
You
the
must have a
question.
membrane. You have a barrier.
It's
So
not
is that
necessary
what
here.
you're saying?
You want some help translating?
Yeah, I need some help. Really?
Yeah, it's
I'm
very
not
simple.
really
There is no
listening.
globe. There is no vacuum. Move on.
Fuck it.
Yeah, you finished 3 points, so you can't answer the third question. Is what you're saying? I mean, you that's fine for you to say, like, I don't know the reason. I mean, if you're asking me to tell you, I'll tell you it's because the medium of of outer space doesn't exist the way they tell us. There is no near vacuum out there. It hasn't been scientifically verified. There's absolutely no reason to believe that it's there at all. So if you want to say you can't answer it and you want me to answer it, there's the answer. It isn't held there inside of a vacuum because there's no vacuum. There's no near vacuum either. And there's no Hoover vacuum. And there's no Mrs. Doubtfire vacuum. We wouldn't be able to breathe. All right, but I guess he's gone. Is that what you guys are saying? All right, well, at least I gave him his role before he left.
Mr. Vacuum. Or osmosis.
That's what I
Figure out
I should have changed his name. Like, yeah, Truth Prevails doesn't like the ain't in there. We should have changed it to something vacuum related.
Gosh. Yeah, he actually reminds me of, like, I think he sounds like someone who's been in here before. And
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
just the way he goes into it, and he doesn't want to stick like a storyteller. And his voice, it just started ringing a bell. And if he is the person, then that's pretty much all he does. Like, try to tell stories to explain what he's trying to say. Never addressing anything that you say. I may be wrong.
Now I wish I hadn't given him the role because I think we should just go through the 3 points with him every time he comes in because I was kind of entertained by that.
Yeah, I was. I really enjoyed listening. Yeah.
Because he admitted it's never been proven.
I was actually going to suggest. I was actually going to suggest not giving him the role just so they would torture him like he was torturing us.
I know. That's why I usually give them the role so that somebody knows, like, okay, this person's been around. They've heard a little bit, so they don't, like, go through the same stuff again. But that guy deserves to go through the 3 points like 20 more times. Because he's a great demonstration of how the Globers got nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for demonstrating that to us. I ain't whatever you are.
Lucky vacuum.
Ain't got no manners.
Oh my gosh! Stop, guys! It's killing me.
Who else do we have here? Truth Prevails.
Well, I'm talking to Martoth right now because there's someone that he banned or put in detention that's talking to Django, and he's wanting out so that he can come in to talk to Ladies Night. And I'm so I guess Martoth, it's up to you. You put
let him out. Yeah, let him out. I've gone in there and incognito before and given a free pass. You
it's
can
fine,
get
let him
out
out,
if you come and talk to the ladies. And we've gotten takers a couple times. Usually, even though they're whining about being in here, they won't take the offer. But if he got somebody, then yeah, bring him in.
Yeah,
Got somebody,
I don't know
Martoth?
why I don't know why he was put in there, so it could be for something serious. So I'm asking Martoth.
There's someone else too called Space Pizza. I don't know if he's in the server.
Yeah, I'll just bring him in here. And we'll see how it goes. Looks like there's a ton of people in VC check-in too, so a couple anyway.
Guess we'll roll with it, huh?
Yeah, I'm just slow, okay?
You're not slow. Just being careful.
Well, the command, the unmute command's not working, so Dandelion, you or Martoth, one will have to do it, I guess.
Who is it we're trying to unmute?
It's in the VC check-in. I tagged him in there trying to unmute him, so you can just...
I already fixed it.
All right.
Thank you, Marta.
Is anyone talking?
No, I'm
Oh.
I'm kind of distracted right now.
Resting. I'm resting, Mrs. Buck. I usually keep myself to a 1 rant per day, like maximum. I think I'm up to like 4 or 5 today.
Oh, did I miss another one? Oh man, I just had to jump off and now I'm back.
Yeah, so I'm just resting here. So if you want to talk to anybody, or you could give Truth Prevails a summary of our conversations earlier today. I bet she would have been really interested in some of those conversations. We had some juicy conversations earlier, Truth Prevails, with the guys
I
here.
was listening to him. Yeah.
Oh, you listened?
About the childbirth and hospitals versus home. And I was thinking, I wished I could have jumped in here then, because everyone seemed really interested and as if they're held back by the lack of knowledge or the fear that something, like you said, Kai, the fear that something could go wrong, and then you feel guilty. Well, what's his name? Shoot, I know is Chris and Kelly. Okay, cool. And I serve the one I am. They have had every one of their children at home. So they would be someone that you could talk to see. I mean, they've got the experience, right? Because they've had, I don't know how many children they have, but they've had all of them at home, right? Not in the hospital. And so they could probably give some advice or some tips or some useful information for, those who want to do it that way, but are afraid of what could happen or don't have the knowledge of what to do. So I want.
Yeah, and you got a birthing channel in your survival server there, don't you? Have a channel about birth? Yeah, which is.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of information, and it was a good suggestion. So it's like anyone looking for the info could find it there. If they've got something they want to share, they can, drop it there. I'll put the link in the. Django's working on bringing that guy in here too. So.
Okay, good. What's his name, or we don't know?
Yeah, those guys are ready to come in. They're both in Cogdis. I'm not sure why they're in there. One of them's a mod from Chatterbox. He's quite a nice, smart guy. I'm not sure how he got put in there, but there's a guy called Pacini and another guy called Space Pizza.
No. Yeah, I remember that name.
Yeah, you guys know him.
Yeah,
he wants to come in and talk to you.
Bring him in.
Sorry?
Okay.
Bring him in.
All right.
Oh,
they already have PC verified,
do you
so
remember
they just need to pop in here.
Yeah, that name rings a bell. Pacini, it rings a fucking bell. Get in here.
Yeah.
Well, it's ladies' night, so I'll shut up. Sorry about that.
Someone working on unmuting them, or am I supposed to do it? You said Martoth is doing it?
Yeah, they both have PC verified. They just need to hop in here. So.
Well, they don't get that's part of their contract. They don't get out of jail early on parole unless they come to the live stream to talk to the ladies. How do we spell it? Let's tag them. At what? P? How do we spell it? P?
I've got it.
Otherwise, I'm putting them back in there if they don't come in here. This is the early release program. Yeah, they need to come in here.
This is recap.
Yeah. I also have Goat Jesus. Number 0232, who's VC verified. So while we're trying to find those other guys, we could welcome him. Goat Jesus. Are you there, Goat?
And while you're waiting on him to respond, I'm just going to tell everyone that if you're interested in the information that's been left there, want to share it, I'm posting it in the live stream. So just grab it. You're welcome to join. Go ahead.
What's the name of the other guy besides Pacini? What's the second one? The other one that's coming out of Cogdis?
It's Space Pizza, I think.
Okay, Space Pizza. One of them is a mod on
his name's
the...
Emmett.
One of them
We're
is a
talking
mod
frozen
on the
pizza or oven cooked?
in the server chatterbox, they've named the flat Earth room Space Pizza or Galactic Pizza or something. I think that's why he's.
Oh, that's very annoying. Why did they do that? Gosh, it's not.
It's because they spend every waking moment in there, so they can't handle calling it flat Earth room. Because then they would have to accept that they spend half their life in a flat Earth room. So they had to change it to Space Pizza.
Okay, so it's like a code name. I see.
Have you guys been over there? It's bad.
I went there when they had the event, which I don't know, it was probably over a month ago now. We had an event with Corvo, and it's a podcast. Indio made it into a podcast. I'll put the link in the voice text, because that one I thought went fairly well, but I've heard you guys have had these other ones I haven't heard. Like I know Crit was there. Have you been over there, Mrs. Musk?
Yes, we did a debate with Cyrus, me, Battle Mod, and I think Carl was over there. It was so bad. Halfway through, their mod was like, "Oh yeah, the other side doesn't need citations," and then we left. We're like, "Okay, bye."
That's too bad. I thought Corvo was a fair mod. He modded the thing that we went to. I thought he did a good job, but he can't be there all the time, probably.
Oh no, it's just like riding on eggshells.
Oh yeah.
Which server are you guys talking about?
Chatterbox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go again whenever. If you guys want to go, shit, I'll go.
Trigger them.
Shit, why not? Why not? We'll do a party. We have to call it a party. Yeah. It starts with an R word. So we can do a little party over there. Gathering.
Spontaneous gathering.
That's it. Spontaneous gathering. You got it.
I think Martov said they were trying to do another event over there. So Cyrus and Mrs. Musk, you should to Martov about that. He knows something about that. Well, Spotify never embeds
what's up?
the link. Martov has said that Chatterbox has reached out to us to do another event.
Okay. Well, sure. I'll go again whenever
they miss
you guys want to do it.
I guess so.
Wow.
Yeah.
We made a splash.
Yes, we have impressed.
Not to butt in, but I posted in the mod chat too. Ryan, one of their admins, asked about doing another event probably next weekend sometime. So
cool.
I haven't been into the Chatterbox yet. I was after I heard about the Chatterbox and I joined it. It's like I've not really the ones that have came over here from there when I heard them. It's like when I heard them speak, I'm like, nah, I don't want to go over there. It's like, but I shouldn't be that way, right? Because all of them aren't the same. Everyone's not the same. But I was kind of like judging everyone else, by the actions and behaviors of the ones that have came in here from there. I think there was one though that came in from the Chatterbox that seemed to be pretty genuine and.
I just saw somebody here that came in that I wanted to welcome, but now I did put the link to the Chatterbox Discord podcast there. It's Leo. That's what I was going to see. Yeah, he has VC Veriboard, popcorn, and Coliseum seating. So maybe he's been here, or I just haven't talked to him before. So if you're able to say hi to us, Leo, please do say hello. If not, then we understand. Like I said before, people don't have to wait to call on. Who was it that just said hello?
It was me you were talking about, Miguel.
Oh, hi, Miguel. I was actually talking to Leo, but I'm glad you said hello. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Sorry, for interrupt you.
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, good to talk to you.
Okay. See you.
You.
Bye.
Yeah, I think truth prevails that I think even though our main purpose here with Ladies Night, as in the server in general, is to explain and show the evidence that the globe is model is a complete fantasy, a logical and mathematical failure that has zero basis in reality and only exists on your television or computer screen, and is basically a religion, as our little friend I Ain't Whatever vacuum lover demonstrated. They can't actually explain their model because it doesn't make any sense, and they can't actually stand up to any kind of not even like heavy criticism. Like, you ladies were being perfectly civil with both of those two, and they just like can't make a coherent argument to save their lives, and they can't prove curvature or rotation. So, like, in terms of the question that's always on the table, which we did discuss earlier today, like, why is the ratio of women to men in flat earth so skewed? I think that and that is one of the things I think was our original vision was Ladies Night, is to have it, kind of maybe be like more of a kind of a social event, which it's been, and we do like go through the arguments with people, but like I think some of the things that we've talked about today, especially in our pre-Ladies Night show, were about, oh my gosh, Flying Scotsman is asking me a question. I'll get to your question there. Observer height 9,000 feet he's talking about Canigou, I guess, because Canigou is the picture in the podcast. Flying Scotsman wants to talk about Canigou. Noted. I'll just finish my thought and then we'll discuss Canigou with you if that's what you want to do. So anywho, that's I think the things we were discussing are like real empowerment of women. Like, if you want to talk about empowerment of women, how about having babies is a cool thing that's, Mrs. Musk might get after me about this, but you should, I'm sorry, but you should not go, I think they hold down women by telling them like, oh yeah, you're just here to be our sex toys and it has nothing to do with reproduction. And if by the way, you make a mistake with taking this hormone pill that tricks your body into thinking it's pregnant all the time, is also linked to higher cancer rates, along with abortion linked to higher breast cancer rates and so on, then if you don't fix everything for me so it's sanitized and there's no child involved, and you take this horrible pill that messes with your emotions and hormones, and then I'm going to criticize you for being an emotional wreck when you've been taking this pill for 10 years, make you think you're pregnant for 10 years and no baby ever comes, so I can just run around and do whatever the hell I want. If you don't do that, it's real inconvenient for me. So go rip that baby out of your womb and stick it down in the sink, so that you can, have a higher possibility of suicide, depression, and so on. That's real empowering for women, isn't it? No, it's not, in case you didn't catch my sarcastic tone. So, Earth is, many people call it Mother Earth. It is a, very women. Yeah, a womb. That's right. The womb, of Earth. It's down to Earth. We can be down to Earth, and that's fine. These guys want to have a sanitized existence in their robotic little Star Trek fantasy with their sex toy robots and whatever. Go ahead. Leave us out of it. If you want some real women and you want to get down and dirty in the actual Earth, which sometimes results in babies, and not make us take drugs that are bad for us or have elective surgery that rips our, unique creation of DNA that will never been seen before, will be seen again out of our bodies, and put us at risk of all these diseases, then go find somebody else. We're not interested in that stuff anymore. So I do think that Flat Earth could attract women if they're interested in finding out what real woman empowerment's about. If they just want the sanitized Twitter version, just go your own way then. Go your own way, and the boys will love you. Yep, if you're willing to just have sex with them all day long, all night long, with, guarantee, no consequences, guys. Oh, I promise I'm on the pill. I'm here. I'm just, tricking my body into thinking it's pregnant, all for your pleasure, and I'll also kill my child for you if that's what you want. Then have at it. that's not making you happy, don't try to lie to me and say that it is, because I know it's not, unless you're mentally ill. Right? Gosh, I'm sorry. Rant number
No,
6.
thank you for
And
sharing.
California Nightmare says, "Damn, Mary Mom's scaring away our food." I'm sorry, California Nightmare. Oh no, now Indio's here too. Oh, but he's giving me flames, so it's okay. Okay, I'm sorry, I did get kind of
No,
carried
don't
away.
be sorry. It was look that was much needed. It's like people need to hear that because honestly, it's not. Don't be sorry for that. It's like I enjoyed it.
It's true. It's so true, and like, it's crazy because there was a time where I was that brainwashed, you know. And then when you learn about flat Earth, it makes you really reassess things. So everything you're saying is true, Mary Mom. I mean, Dandelion.
I'm glad you agree. Yeah, I'm glad
Because
you
it
agree.
does,
You
it
can
does
call
more
me
than
Mary
that.
Mom.
It fractures your spirit too. So I mean, it's like they're damaged for life after that. And I mean, it's the family. It's the foundation of everything. Tear down the family, and the people lose power individually and as collectively. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Oh shit, we got Pacini in the chat. I mean, in the.
We got him. All right. Cool. You going to talk to him, Mrs. Musk?
I don't know if I'm the best candidate.
You talked to him before. Is that why?
Hi, Pacini.
I've never talked to him.
Hi there. I understand some people wanted to talk to me.
Yes.
Right. It's nice.
What brings you here in our neck of the woods?
I was called.
You were summoned?
Here. I was summoned. Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, some people were calling me Quad and Django were inviting me to come here. I said I wasn't able to, but then they got rid of the ban and everything. And so here I am.
Yeah, this is your second chance, so or maybe third. I don't know. With you, it could be your third.
So I believe you can call it a second chance. Although for the first time around, what happened was that I presented a measurement, right? An accelerometer just measuring not only the body, the forces acting on the body, but also field forces. And so a person, I'm not going to say who was, but this person just doubted the measurement itself, and I just tried to explain why it was right. Then this person proceeded to repeatedly call me a liar, and even doubt the principle of action and reaction. So we got a little, I honestly say, I will say that very little heated. There wasn't any how can I say, any insult exactly, but still that resulted in a ban. Yeah.
Okay, whatever that was all about. Let's just get down to, let's just pretend you never were here before, and please present to us your scientific, verifiable, repeatable, testable evidence of curvature or rotation, Pacini.
I don't have any. I didn't conduct any measurement of curvature. Do you have any measurement of a long distance? We can go for bodies of water if we want. Do you have any measurement that confirms that over long distances it is flat?
Yes.
Every
We do.
measurement performed. Every one of them.
Right. Can you give me an example?
So can you see the live stream voice text there, Pacini, at 54 minutes after the hour, where
Yeah, I believe it.
so
Yes.
yeah, you click up. Can you click on that link for me? So if you scroll
This last
down,
one, right.
if you scroll down, every single one of those observations is impossible on a globe with the radius of 3,959 miles, and it's not even close. So, the radius, of course, as we know, has been disproven. That's the positive claim of the globe model that has never been measured. That's just a theoretical number that they came up with, so we took that number. And according to the mainstream globe model, when we're testing this model, which predicts a rate of curvature of 8 inches per mile square, which is the mainstream claim. If you Google what is the curvature of the Earth, Google will tell you approximately 8 inches per mile squared. So we take that number and we test it in reality, and that's what every one of these observations that are Indio put together are impossible on a globe of dimensions claimed. And then you can, a lot of those links go to like other information about each observation, but it gives you there the distance, the observer height, the target height, the globe predicted horizon distance, and the globe predicted hidden by horizon. So, I mean, there's a whole list for you. It only takes one verifiable, testable, repeatable example to show you that this globe model fails to predict reality, since it's nothing but a mathematical construct and you've never experienced a globe, you've never observed a globe. We only have TV screens and computer screens showing us the globe, but even on NASA's website, very own website, it tells you that they created the blue marble image on a computer to match people's expectations.
Yeah, I understand. Just so you know, I understand. I'm sort of aware of with the whole concept of flat Earth. So I'm kind of up to speed on this. Now I understand that there is such a thing as in this table that I'm looking at observer height, target height.
4, 5, or any of those,
so these were things that and this is something that I was in an argument. Sorry, what?
Sorry, I talked over you. I thought you were
sorry,
done. No, I'm sorry. I think, I don't know, we've got some kind of delay going on. You keep going. You said that you're somewhat familiar with the arguments. And so I asked you if you could explain any of those observations to me and how we can see them. One of them I've seen myself, which would be the observation of the city of Chicago skyline across Lake Michigan. I've seen that on more than one occasion. So can you explain to me why, when we're given this radius with this predicted curvature in the mainstream model, are we able to see all these observations? He gone? Oh no, he's back. There you go. He must have been having audio problems.
Yeah, I'm having, for some reason, I'm having connection problems. It was cutting off. But I hope you can hear me now. It seems you can hear it.
Yes, so I'm disappointed you didn't hear my question, but I'll repeat it for you. Can you explain? You said you're familiar, so therefore, since we're still on the topic of the link I showed you that I asked you to open, I have a question about it. Since you said you're so familiar with the flat Earth arguments,
I don't claim to be.
Well, can you let me finish the question, please? And then if you can't answer, that's fine. You can just say I can't answer. Each one of these observations is impossible on a globe of the dimensions claim. I've seen one of them myself more than one time, and that would be seeing the Chicago skyline across Lake Michigan at a distance of over 50 miles. The entire skyline should be hidden. So can you explain to me, when we're given the mainstream model, that we should see this curvature of 8 inches per mile squared, see it increasing at that rate? How are these observations possible? It only takes one observation to falsify a model, and we're being generous to even call that a model, since it's based on nothing but imagination. But let's be generous and call it a model. Let's even be really generous and call it a mathematical model, even though it's really just a number they plucked out of the air and then just created a fairy tale world around that you have to believe in on faith, and it has no scientific evidence to back it up whatsoever. By being generous to say we're even gonna condescend to test your fake model in reality, and when we do it, we find observation after observation that are impossible if we were on a globe of dimensions claimed. So how do you explain that, Pacini?
But the short answer for that would be refraction, as I am sure that you saw it coming, right? You have a more
can't get away with that. You can't get it. Hold on. Okay, so then you're going to have to explain to us how refraction could, in those cases, act in a different way than refraction has ever been seen to act in the atmosphere of the Earth and magically appear. So you're telling me that I just saw a mirage of Chicago, even though I myself know that refraction doesn't work that way, as well as Rob Skiba going out of his way. Again, we're doing this for you. We shouldn't even have to if you had a logical brain in your body. He actually went to all the trouble, good for Rob Skiba, to get a boat drive from Michigan to Chicago, keeping the skyline in the camera sight the whole time, and it was there the whole time. So, I mean, that's fine. Go ahead. Tell me about your refraction. Explain. Draw me a diagram, Pacini. How does that work?
Right. So, as we know, the most dense layers of air are in the bottom of the atmosphere, and as you go higher up, it gets less dense. This is proportional also to the light speed in each of these layers. As it turns out, when you have a slower light speed down and a higher speed up, the wavefront tends to bend downwards. So what it means is, as if think of as if you're in a sphere and you throw a ball and kind of. Well, I think Miguel Souza is no, I don't think. Well, it's essentially that what Miguel Souza just posted in the voice text. So the image literally makes a curve around the Earth, and you can see a little bit of that image that was supposed to be concealed. So my whole point, and also is something that I was talking about with Django yesterday, was essentially the fact that these long distance, purely optical observations are not entirely reliable. Because of that, we cannot be certain unless we have, say, every 500 meters or every kilometer a measurement of density of the medium in function of height. Then we can at least tell more or less how the medium is refracting, and then we can be sure of something. Otherwise,
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you right there because I can tell you're one of those guys. Okay, that's fine. We know, we understand, and I'm sure there's all kind of guys here salivating just to get to tear apart everything you just said. So I'm just going to. I actually have to go before too long, but these other ladies will hang around. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to talk to you about this for as long as you wish, and then I'm sure there'll be other people who will be willing to love to talk to you about this magical refraction world that you live in, which is much different than the actual world and how the world actually works. Can you see what Martov posted at 2 minutes after the hour? Can you see that image? That's actually a still shot from a Dr. John D video, which I'd be happy to provide you with the link to the entire video so you can watch the entire explanation and then hopefully come back to it with a substantive response. I'll read it for you. For light to travel around a curve from point A to point B, the light would have to continually refract in a downward direction. For the light to keep refracting in a downward direction, it would be necessary for atmosphere to keep becoming denser, as shown in the diagram below. 1, the least dense air, to 5, the most dense air. The yellow and black dots indicate light moving from less dense atmosphere to more dense atmosphere and refracting in downward direction. The black dotted line indicates the direction the light would have to continue to take if refraction had not occurred. The atmosphere is not layered in such vertical sections, so light cannot travel in this manner. Response to that, Pacini?
Yeah, I was focusing on the one that came next. So, okay, let me just take a look at this.
You do understand, though, if you claim your fraction, how are you getting your radius?
I'm not. I said it before. I'm not going to claim any specific radius or any specific dimension.
You
itself.
understand that if you don't claim the radius they give you for the globe, none of the other things in the universe that they claim work. Because everything's based off that radius.
Yes. Actually, if gravity, for instance, is not a thing, then many things would be wrong. But then, as
not
you know,
many. You couldn't go to space if you don't know the radius. You can't send a rocket into orbit if you don't have the proper radius.
Yes, of course. That's why essentially the entire world of engineering wouldn't work. Essentially, you wouldn't be able to properly design boats if you.
No, that has nothing to do with the radius on that.
The old principle. Yes, but I think you just said that that implication would mean. That would imply that the entire theory of physics that we have for us is maybe not entirely, but mostly.
No, not physics. I'm not talking about known physics. I'm talking about your idea of being able to send something around a sphere of a certain size requires so much energy. In other words, gasoline or rocket power, or whatever you're going to use. You have a certain measurement. You cannot accomplish it if it is not the size you said, because you won't build the rocket correctly. So if you don't have R, you don't got space travel.
Sure, but I'm not saying that I know how to do space travel or out of what.
I'm telling you, if you don't have R, when you climbed a refraction, you lost your R, because R is based on a physical horizon. That's what your model claims. And you just threw it out that window. So welcome to flat Earth.
I'm just saying that it curves. I'm not saying at which rate it curves.
Doesn't matter. You claimed refraction.
It's not going to perfectly follow the same radius, a concentric arc. It's just going to curve. But I'm not saying it will perfectly curve as that diagram is describing. In fact, refraction usually works in not so acute angles as that is trying to depict. Otherwise, you would be able to see the entire world, of course, and that's, of course, not the case.
You wouldn't see the entire world because you have a misunderstanding of light.
No, the air gets thicker. I understand.
You don't have internal view, but once you claimed refraction, you got rid of your physical horizon, so you have no arc. You have no radius for your sphere.
I just got to ask him. I got to ask him one more question.
Earth, brother.
Pacini. So I'm not even claiming the Rob Skiba video is proof, because obviously that's just a video that some guy did. I know videos can be faked. I mean, I know for sure that because I understand, how light actually works and the real world where we live, and I'm not stuck on your fantasy globe model. I mean, I think it's, I think that video is real, that he went across there and kept it in his sights. What if you yourself, Pacini, if I put you in a boat and I made you, and I know how to do this, I've done it before, found the skyline, I gave you my Nikon P1000 camera, I had you sitting there, I'd even Clockwork Orange, I'll just in fact, cause you're Pacini, I'll just make your eyes propped open the whole time, staring at the camera screen, at the skyline the entire time, and you saw it then, and then you kept seeing it the whole time, and then you got there and there was a city there. I'm telling you, people did this. Are you even accepting the possibility that you're wrong? I mean, that's basically what I'm telling you. Here we got these observations, very meticulously determined. You don't understand how refraction works. You haven't drawn me the diagram. If you need to take a break and go draw me the diagram of how Chicago is magically appearing there, despite that you don't know how light works, you don't know how refraction works, and you can't explain it. If you want to go study that some more and come back and tell us, then go ahead. Otherwise, you don't got refraction. So you need to either concede that point or tell me you're going to go research it further and explain how that is going to work. So are you going to concede the point that you don't have an explanation for why we can see too far?
I just told you that refraction won't work as that diagram from Martoth suggests, exactly like that. It will have a certain angle, but it's not as steep as that.
So I just told you, diagram it for me and go explain.
And you assume that I simply don't know things. I am not saying that you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, let's put that on the table then, because you can't explain it. Can't explain refraction.
I just did.
No, you didn't.
You have a medium with a certain light speed and another one with a different light speed. The wavefront converges to the medium of slower light speed.
Did you even hear what she read?
Yes.
It totally contradicts what you're saying.
You are suggesting that from 5 to 4, 3 to 1, it gets lighter. More denser, less dense, right? That's not exactly what I meant. It's not in that direction. I'm talking in the height direction.
You're going to have to draw a diagram. That's why I keep asking. So stop talking about that. That's not useful. You have nothing. So that's fine. You don't have time to go draw a diagram. We'll talk about something else. Put that on the table. But I would like you to answer my boat question, because we get people coming in here all the time saying, what if I took you up in a spaceship and showed you the globe? There's my question for Pacini. What if I took you on a boat across Lake Michigan and you saw the skyline the whole way from Michigan to Chicago? What would you think then?
Yes, I would say, just as I told you, that can be an optical phenomena.
How can
I
it be
cannot simply
a phenomenon?
we're-
You start at
Not an
the
optical
city.
phenomenon. You're making excuses.
It's a lie. If you were right there at the boat dock, and you're at the base of the city, and you keep your eyes on it as the boat pulls away, and you still see it from 60 miles away, where did that optical effect suddenly happen that you missed? You are seeing the real city the whole entire time. You started at the city and you kept going away from it. So that's not explaining anything. You're suddenly saying at some moment in time, at some distance, some magical place, again, kind of like space, a magical space, that something changes optically that you suddenly don't see the real city. You're seeing a mirage.
Exactly. If your model were correct, yeah, then at some point it'd have to like disappear or do something weird. No, you're seeing it and then you're going there and I'm making you still got the Clockwork Orange toothpicks propping your eyes open. I'm going to get you out of the boat. I'm going to walk you over to a building and make you touch it. And so at what time did that suddenly become a mirage if I'm walking you up there and you're touching the building?
As you go farther from the source, the effect starts to build up. As you get closer, the effect becomes less apparent. That's how it works, essentially.
What you're telling me is a mirage clear up to the point that you touched it.
Just said.
You're just saying that you can have a mirage right in front of you, so you never see, even if you put your hand up in front of you.
I'm saying from far.
Optical illusion. As you go away, of course, that is going to definitely be more of a mirage. Yeah, no, that's not how things work. And you can go test this for yourself. That's the funny part is you're making all this explanation that's just not making sense because, again, it doesn't make sense in the real world. And you can go test this for yourself. I've actually experienced it on land, not over a body of water. I experienced it from a mountain.
How does refraction works?
We started at the I could see it all the way home for 200 miles. It wasn't. It wasn't.
I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me if you know it better. Then please enlighten me. How does refraction work?
Again, it's not that is not what you're needing to prove here. What you're needing to prove here is why there's no curve, a physical curve blocking it, and your radius is not there because of your claim of refraction now. Do you understand? If you claim refraction, your horizon is never physical, and you can't get a measurement of a radius, and your whole ball goes bye-bye?
You're asking her to explain your argument for you.
No, I already provided an explanation, but it wasn't accepted.
Your explanation is wrong.
That's why I'm asked. Okay, so refraction, first of all, does it exist or not? In your opinion? Does refraction exist in the real world or not?
Exists.
You understand that you've lost your ball by claiming refraction, so we can argue refraction all day long. But you can go take these measurements and go do these things for yourself instead of just trying to keep your globe belief. But if you don't have R because you have a variable horizon that keeps shifting because of your claimed refraction now, which again, welcome to flat Earth. That's exactly what we say happens. But you're claiming now that it's so important how you explain the refraction, but you've just given up R. You have no sphere now. You gave it up.
I didn't claim any R. I didn't claim any R.
Once you claim refraction, you're telling me the horizon is no longer physical. It's always optical. Exactly. So that means you can never get a consistent measurement because we have pictures of horizons far enough away that would make your ball something like 200,000 miles around. It's crazy. There's pictures that make this an impossible ball. It's just nuts. But you're trying to explain it because you think refraction saves your ball. It doesn't. It actually destroys it. That's why we say welcome to flat Earth when you start claiming refraction. Because now you're admitting there is no physical horizon to measure for R. It's gone. You just threw it out the window.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to say.
We're trying to say welcome to flat Earth. That makes you a flat earther.
In the beginning, when I'm not interrupted, I can try to formulate the thought. And I tried to say in the beginning that optical observations of the horizon are not valid because of that reason. Unless you find a manner to isolate that effect or to take it into account, then you can use optical measurements. Otherwise, if you cannot isolate, then you cannot go further.
You have a flat Earth. Then.
Sorry, what?
You have a flat Earth. Then your globe requires a physical horizon, 3959 mile radius that you just threw out the window, and you're trying to argue for your optical whatever you want to call it. Either way, you just threw away your main argument for why it's a sphere. You're done.
In the live stream voice text.
It wasn't even my main argument.
Are you listening? Are you looking in the live stream voice text? Because they're posting where someone has taken all of those things into account, and the FE Core laser test does the same thing. So these people actually hold on. These people actually took this into account. And if you're not claiming refraction, then you need to come up with another explanation or demonstration for why we see the horizon too far. And if you're not claiming refraction, then it's not relevant to the conversation anymore. You said you weren't claiming it, so what is your explanation? If you are claiming it, then you need to define which type of refraction is extending your horizon further than what it is expected to be.
Right. So let's go over something. Since you mentioned the FE Core experiment, let's go over to the channel PDF storage and have a look at the question. FE Core. No, you mentioned the FE Core experiment, right? So let's go through
That's one of the experiments that is mentioned. We're not going to go through it with you. It was a measurement that was done. An actual.
The reason why I was going to bring it up is because that experiment, when all things considered are taken into consideration, you are going to actually conclude that the Earth is concave. Not even convex, not even flat, but actually concave.
We are not going with you on a concave jaunt, okay? You've come in here with the globe claim. You're coming in here with something we're not talking about. You're jumping everywhere. You are globe claim is what we're dealing with.
Let's talk to the Space Pizza guy. If you want to write something in the voice text while we're talking, I'd like to, welcome Space Pizza back to the regular server. If you want to type something, Pacini, about your claim about the laser test into the voice text, go ahead. But we're not going to listen to a bunch of nonsense about that. The laser hit the target at a distance it shouldn't have hit if the globe was a ball with the radius of 3,959 miles. So whatever other kind of nonsense you're talking about, what they're trying to claim is ridiculous, or that it showed something is ridiculous. It was set out to show that the laser shouldn't have hit the target if we were on a globe of these dimensions, and indeed the laser did hit the target. So whatever thing you're trying to side claim about it is your trip. Nothing to do with what they were trying to do and what they succeeded in doing. So anything else you're going to say is distracting. Welcome to the server, Space Pizza. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Good.
I mean, it's pretty easy when you just don't let room for people to speak, right?
Pacini, oh my gosh, don't even get me started.
We'll ban you again. Don't even do it.
That's fine.
We let you out of here to talk to us. You've been talking to us for what, like a half hour or something, and now you're like, oh, they didn't let us speak. Oh, Pacini! Oh, somebody go back in time. How much time Pacini spoke in the percentage-wise out of everybody else? You talked a ton. So don't give me this not letting you speak nonsense. That is really disappointing. That is very disappointing. I know. They try that because they think we're going to get out the violins or something, or like feel bad. You're the one coming in here with your claims that you can't back up, and I just want to talk to your friend here, and you're trying to stop me.
I didn't even want to come. You called me here.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for playing.
So if
goodbye.
If Pacini wants to say something, I would want to hear.
Okay, all I want to do is say hi, Space Pizza. Why is this becoming World War III? I'm sorry. Let's de-escalate. Welcome to the server, Space Pizza. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, so do you have any kind of scientific, verifiable, testable, or repeatable evidence of curvature or rotation in regards to the Earth where we live?
I would not want to go down those avenues, But,
do you think you live on a spinning ball?
Yeah.
Okay, what makes you think that?
Concern trolling is against. Okay. Well, I trust the scientific community, but But aside from that, I haven't done any measurements by myself.
Okay,
It's
so what
not
makes
it's
you
not an
trust
appeal
the
to
science?
authority
Okay, what makes you
because
trust
it's not an
the
argument.
scientific?
But
Okay, so are you aware that in the mainstream scientific world there are many people, not just flat earthers, who think that the entire field of astrophysics is highly questionable and not even scientific because it's mostly based on numbers and mathematics and theoretical stuff that they don't actually use the scientific method. For example, the whole theory of dark matter. There's many normal mainstream scientists who reject a lot of what they conclude. So and we can show you some of them if you want to see them. Like Pierre-Marie Robitaille is one who's debunked Professor Dave's debunking videos because he has, some theories about the sun that fall outside of the mainstream dogma, which is basically a religious dogma. So they have, as I just said, on NASA.gov website, they admit, oh, thank you. Martoth put up the Sky Scholar Pierre-Marie Robitaille debunking Professor Dave. Perfect, at 21 minutes after the hour. So you might want to bookmark that and look at that later. So there are many scientists who don't get their scientific information from the mainstream evening news, who question a lot of these claims that are being made by these so-called space scientists or astrophysicists. So you're saying that you do trust astrophysicists and you think they accurately describe the reality where we live?
yeah, I'm not qualified to.
You're not qualified to know if you can test something for a measurement of curve? You don't think you're qualified to evaluate somebody telling you if they're telling you something that's true or not? You're only qualified to believe.
I'm not as qualified as those who present these as scientific facts. So.
Who gave you that idea?
You go out in the world, you experience it as flat and stationary, you've never seen a curve anywhere, you've never felt motion or experienced it, and if you were willing to actually go and test some of these things for yourself, as we've shown you, many people have on the actual world where we live, and we're questioning what they're telling us, you're basically just farming that out to somebody else. You're letting someone else do your experiencing, your thinking for you, and you're letting them say you live in this fantasy science fiction realm that's out there. You can't see it, but trust us.
I mean,
less than 600 people even claim to have been to this fantasy realm of outer space, and a way smaller number even claim to have seen the whole Earth from space. Only those few astronauts that claim to have gone to the moon. Come on, a PhD scientist when I was a child, a family friend explained to me how it was completely scientifically impossible for us to go to the moon. So let's just even start there. Do you think we went to the moon in 1969, Space Pizza?
Yeah, I haven't seen any reason to.
Have you even looked? Have you even thought about it or looked? Or are you just one of these people that have gone along and love the space stuff, the story, the religion so much that you have never looked, and you're just a religious zealot that doesn't ever check to see if his faith is actually based on anything real?
Yeah, look, kiddo.
That's the question.
Yeah,
because you've given responsibility over to everyone else. That's what you've done. You basically said, I'm a religious zealot. I trust people in authority that wear a high priest, PhD, white coat, stethoscope, whatever, whoever people I consider higher qualified than me to know my world and where I live and what my responsibility is here. Is that what you're doing? Because that's what you're doing. That's what you've said so far, is I trust everyone else to tell me stuff and I have to believe it, which makes you a religious person. That makes you a religious.
As we often do, you can't see atoms, right? But we do accept.
I'm asking about things you witness. Do you feel the Earth spinning? I
don't feel the Earth spinning, but
do you feel a curve on the horizon?
Do I feel a curve?
Yeah, no, a curve. Excuse me.
No.
Have you ever experienced anything that they've told you?
I wasn't told that I can experience it, but
Again, you just gave your responsibility for your own senses away to somebody else. I wasn't told I could sense it. So I can't use my eyes. I can't use the God-given balance system and orientation system that's in my head that tells me where I'm at in space all the time, every moment. I can't trust even my own gut feeling. I can't think and think logically. I have to trust somebody else. That's what you're saying.
Not exactly.
No, that's what you're saying. That really is what you're saying. You're saying, I'm not qualified to know my own senses. I'm not qualified to go do anything to look and see.
That.
Yeah, you did. You
No, I said I'm not as
people.
qualified as those who say these things, who
In other words, you're giving your responsibility away. You're giving it to somebody else.
Yeah, I let chemists do chemistry. You know,
It doesn't mean you can know if chemistry is right or not. It doesn't mean you can't go learn it.
Well, yeah, I
You
could.
can have different levels of trust, yes, but there are some things like they're telling you you're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour if you're at the equator. They tell you, again, that there is a curve, but you can't see it even though you live on this earth. You've heard people say that they've been able to measure further than they should be able to, see further than they should be able to, and yet you still want to believe these people.
Yeah. So I guess we could just get into like the actual arguments and stuff instead of like.
But you just said you don't know any of them because you defer to everybody else.
I do know. I was just here to ask some questions. And I was going to talk about gravity a little bit.
Okay, so you want to talk about gravity that hasn't been proved either.
Yeah, I want to talk about gravity.
Which kind?
Yeah, which one?
Okay. I guess Newtonian, because it's more practical.
It's 100 and some years out of date. Are you sure you really want to go there?
It's yard sale theory.
It's been superseded.
Yeah, I do want to go there.
Why?
Because it would disprove the flat Earth.
Oh, really? Yes. You think it'll disprove the flat Earth? Okay.
If gravity
Einstein
Newtonian physics proof.
But Einstein disproved Newtonian, so what you're using isn't even relevant.
Wait,
yeah,
do you think Einstein was right?
If you have the citations, please post them with me. I'm going to post some citations, academic ones, of course.
Do you think Einstein was right, though?
No.
Okay, so why are you...
I'm not arguing for the global model.
So you're shoving words in my mouth that I...
No, I'm not arguing for the globe model, but because you're going to argue for the globe model, you need to be up to date on your own pseudoscience.
Oh, so I need to believe something that you want me to believe.
Do you think do you think that you're on a spinning ball in the vacuum of space? Yeah. You need to be on par.
We're talking about gravity.
That's part of your belief. Without gravity, you do not have your globe. You do understand that. You are claiming the whole model if you claim gravity. You can't just throw piecemeal. Oh, I only believe in this part of it. I only believe in this part of it.
You told me, you said
I believe Newtonian, even though that's been superseded because
we're going to back up what we're saying.
Do you understand? It didn't work. The equations didn't work. That's why they had to supersede it. That's why.
Yeah, but you don't think he was right. So why are you?
If I think it's right, you're vying for the globe here. This is your model. You either accept it the whole or you get rid of it.
The reason we ask some questions when people come in here is to make sure you understand what you're even arguing for. Because that's half the battle with these globers is, unfortunately, you don't actually know what you're even arguing for. Because
I mean, do you want to hear what I have to say about gravity? Or
if you're going to
well, we do, but if you're going to talk about Newtonian, it's kind of wasteful because here, let's read some of the things I posted. These are from QE. We'll start with Britannica.com/science/relativity/curve space-time and geometric gravitation. Because Isaac Newton's law of gravity served so well in explaining the behavior of the solar system, the question arises why it was necessary to develop a new theory of gravity. The answer is that Newton's theory violates special relativity, for it requires an unspecific action at a distance through which any two objects, such as the sun and earth, instantaneously pull each other no matter how far apart. However, instantaneous response would require the gravitational interaction to propagate at infinite speed, which is precluded by special relativity.
Okay,
Even
good.
Wikipedia says Newton's classical mechanics were superseded in earliest 20th century when Albert Einstein developed the special and general theory of relativity. So even something as basic as Wikipedia knows,
But you
that
don't believe
it's
that.
no longer
Doesn't matter what we believe. You keep saying believe. We know certain things. It
So it
doesn't
seems
matter
like you're
that we
trying
don't
to
agree with
when we're
all
talking
to, like,
about, if we're
trying
going
to
to
prove me wrong by using something you don't agree with.
hold up, if we're going to enter into a debate, if we're going to enter into a debate about gravity, okay, we need to make sure you understand what gravity is, which it's not mass attracting mass.
It's not
It is
Newtonian.
bending and
so
warping of
nothing.
space-time. That's what it is, whether you like it or not. If you want to argue about mass attracting mass, then you need to argue with Wikipedia and Britannica, because that's not what it is.
Okay, but
So
you
we can't
don't.
even
You
have
don't
a debate
even.
about it if we don't even know what it is.
What we agree to, do you understand? Do you understand?
What the hell?
Listen very carefully. It is not about our beliefs. It's about your stance. You come in here claiming a globe. It has a certain model. It is specific. You must go off of that because they already proved that the Newtonian didn't work. Didn't work. So that's why it was superseded by Einstein. So whether you like it or not, if you believe in a globe and space and all the universe the way it's described, that's your model and that's the way you have to argue it. You can't just pick and choose what you like about it or not or disagree with because guess what? Your model says it is Einsteinian. So you either give up the globe or you don't. You go either with where we're going with this stuff or you give up your model because that's what your model is. You can't claim the globe and say, well, I only believe in the Newtonian part and the rest of it, I don't know. You can't do that. It was superseded because it didn't work. So you can't stand here and say, well, I'm going to prove you guys wrong because Newtonian works.
You don't even think space exists. So why would it be disproven?
Do you not understand what we're saying?
We don't think the vacuum of space exists. The fact that outer space is a
as
vacuum.
described.
Yeah. So do you think Newtonian gravity has been falsified?
Again, we're not going to argue with you on Newtonian because that's not your model.
If it was,
the globe is
if it was true, it wouldn't have been superseded, my dude. If it was true, it would have been superseded.
Newton himself said not to ascribe gravity to him. He
Obviously,
said it is inconceivable. He said, this is Newton. He
Listen
said,
to this quote.
It is inconceivable that an innate brute matter should, without the mediation of something else, which is not material, operate on and affect other matter without mutual contact, as it must do. If gravitation is the sense of Epicurus, whatever that word is, be essential and inherent in it. And this is one reason why I desire to not to describe innate gravity to me. That gravity should be innate, inherent, and essential to matter, so that one body may act upon another at a distance through a vacuum, without the mediation of anything else, by and through which their action and force may be conveyed from one to another, is to me so great an absurdity that I believe no man who has in philosophical matters a competent faculty of thinking can ever fall into. Gravity must be caused by an agent acting constantly according to the certain laws, but whether this be an agent be material or immaterial, I have left to the consideration of my readers. So he said it was an absurdity.
He's not denouncing.
Do you understand?
Denouncing gravity, though. He's just saying.
Denouncing gravity, but you're using him to prove whatever your gravity is, and you can't use him because he just told you it's absurd what he is proving. Doesn't say
he was appealing to an agent which had to.
No. Again, you're here to argue for your globe model with its current understanding of gravity. If you can't do that, then you're going back to Newton, which has already been proven to be inaccurate to this model. They threw it away.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't-
like trying to say The Price is Right is the best show today because of Drew Carey, but you're arguing for Bob Barker, who's the old host. So
you have nothing to stand
it
on.
has nothing to do
Except,
with
like, you don't even think Bob
It
Barker.
doesn't matter about my beliefs, our beliefs, whose beliefs. It's not about that. You have a model that you have to claim because that's what you believe. You've told us already. I believe in outer space. I believe in a globe. I believe blah, blah, blah. Guess what? That means you're restrained to the model as currently presented and understood. No, you don't have the right to go back. No, it is ascribed to you because you claim the globe. Instantly, that makes you responsible for then the current theories that are ascribed to it. Period. You don't get to weasel out. It's nice to try,
Could
but
I
it's
get
weaseling
to
out.
my argument now?
No, it's really you're weaseling out.
Let's just see where he was gonna go. But you can understand though, even if we let you go down the path, like we're gonna come to the same point.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay, but go
So
ahead.
would you-
Go ahead with what you're thinking.
Yeah. So I was just gonna ask you, do you think things accelerate towards the ground? Do you observe?
Be
that?
more specific. Be more specific.
So you don't observe things accelerating towards the ground?
Like a pen?
I mean, like, is this a
Being dropped?
helium balloon fall?
Can you be
no, I'm
Does
not
it
talking
accelerate
about
to the
helium
ground?
balloons. I'm
Well,
just talking
I'm
about-
hey, sorry, but if you're going to
talking
claim,
about anything. Just
that's
do
what I'm
things
saying.
accelerate.
If you
towards-
claim everything falls to the ground at a certain rate, how do you describe then a helium balloon or
We can talk
steam?
about helium balloons, but I'm just asking.
No,
if things do.
it's all part of it. You can't separate that. Again, if you're going to say everything accelerates to the ground at a certain rate, then it has to be everything.
Objects in free fall accelerate towards the ground.
Do helium balloons?
Yes.
Do
You already said fall, so you're implying that they're going down because they're falling. So yeah, things in free fall might go down.
Hold on. Let me find a video for you.
I don't need a video. I need you to describe what you are trying to say because you just said it doesn't matter what we're talking about, but everything falls. So does gas fall?
Does gas fall? Yes, gas falls.
Gas
Yes,
falls?
it does.
Really? Do you might want to go look up the law, gas laws? You might really want to do that.
Yeah, what the heck is entropy?
You don't think gases are pulled towards the ground?
No,
No,
because there's
not
no
at all.
proof of that. You don't understand gas. So that's the problem. You're arguing something you don't understand very well.
So when are you
I'm
gonna
just-
start? When are you gonna start like showing something to validate or demonstrate any of these claims that you're making? Can you demonstrate mass attracting mass? Can you demonstrate gases being pulled down
No, I mean,
No, why is your
All
smoke
I'm-
detector
all
on
I'm-
your ceiling then, my dude? Why is your smoke detector on your ceiling if gases are being pulled down?
I'm saying
Why
gases
did he say
can be
helium
pulled
balloon
down.
falls?
No. Okay, what is the standard
free
behavior of the gas of the state of gas? What is the standard behavior of gases?
They fill their container. Yeah.
What else do they do? They don't just fill it.
I don't. I mean.
They move in
what are you
directions.
talking about? You're saying
All
what do gases
directions,
do?
up, down, sideways, every direction known.
Yeah, she's asking you how do gases
It's like,
behave?
what do gases do? Yes,
Yeah.
they do
How
that.
do gas molecules behave?
Yeah, they do that, but they can go down.
They can go down, boom, boom. Are you sure?
Yes, they. Okay.
When do they do that?
Can you
Well,
demonstrate?
your density thing. They do that. There's an obvious.
I didn't say that doesn't
pressure
happen
gradient.
with equilibrium and all that sort of stuff, but gases in particular, what's their normal state? What do they do?
What do they do? They fill the container. They go all different directions, but they can.
Booyah.
Some of them do go down, then obviously, but
yeah,
most of them are going all directions. They're all going all directions.
But all have to be pulled in one vector, which is down.
If you can't have just some, you can't say, "Well, I've got some of them going down," when other ones are going up, sideways, backwards, forwards, all over the place. That's the problem. You're saying all because the gravity has to affect everything.
If you have a force acting on something which goes in every direction, and
then demonstrate the force.
Okay, demonstrating the force is just do things accelerate down. If they do, there's a force acting on them.
They don't look.
That's just how motion. That's just how motion works.
Yeah, if you move it out of its place of equilibrium, it is going to seek its equilibrium again, and it depends on like the differential of where you move it from and where you move it to. The relationship between the two, that's going to determine the speed at which it does it. So if you're claiming there's a force involved in any of this, then you're going to need to demonstrate it.
Well, I do claim there's a force because I claim things accelerate down.
No, not everything does. You're saying everything is affected by the downward. Just things. Then what things? What things?
I mean, you're saying helium balloons go up, therefore things don't accelerate down at all. Like that.
I didn't say that don't go down. I didn't say. I'd say things can go up and down. There's two vectors, both up and down, with kinetic theories.
Okay.
So you've got a problem because you're claiming that something is getting more strong and pulling down closer it is to the mass because you like Newtonian. So the closer it is even supposed to be even stronger. So how is anything escaping that?
Yeah, there's three questions. There's three questions to ask yourself when you see something going, quote unquote, down. Question number 1, did I myself apply a force to the object and remove it from equilibrium? Question number 2, did the object's density change? And then question number 3, did the medium that the object in, did that change? Those are the 3 questions you have to ask yourself. That relates to everything that you observe.
So are you saying the force is like proportional to density?
You're saying I see things go down. Therefore it must be gravity. And I'm saying there's 3 questions to ask yourself, though. There's 3 questions to ask yourself, though, before you just go to this magical, universal force that's supposedly making these things go down. Is you have to ask yourself those 3 questions, because that is also going to be the reason why, like a pen. Or no, let's actually do a vase. Let's do a vase. Okay, you have a vase. Well, it goes down to the ground when you let it go. Well, 1. You picked up the vase. Now you've applied force. You've removed it from its equilibrium. 2, let's say it was a magical vase. It wasn't going to fall down, but you've added sand to the vase. So now you've changed the density. So now it's more dense, and now it's going to fall down. Or before you dropped it in water, now you move it in your room, and you're going to drop it in air. You've changed the medium. So now it's going to go down. See, those 3 questions completely control the outcome and the direction the object will seek its equilibrium.
I know Pacini brought this up in another server once, but just an experiment you can do where you have 2 buckets of water and you have 2 buckets of water and one is 1 liter, right? And the other is 2 liters, and you've doubled the mass, you've doubled the volume, right? It's the same density. But they're not going to be equal, on the scale, right?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the force is not proportional to density. It's not because of how dense it is. It's because of how much mass there is.
Huh? What? What are you trying to... I don't understand what your example is. I guess you need to draw it out or something, because right now it's not making any sense.
There was a missing point. Let me clarify what it is about. Okay. So think about a broomstick. Okay.
Who's talking? Who's talking? Pacini, you don't get to interrupt.
No, he can clarify whatever.
No.
The guy referred to something Pacini had said, and Pacini's in the room. So if he needs to clarify more concisely what it is that he did say, since he was, yeah, go ahead.
Can I go ahead? All right. So the idea is actually very simple. You can think of one of those old scales that you balance weights on one side, so you get the weight of the other side. So just like that, think about like that sort of equilibrium. Think you have a broomstick, and then you get each of these buckets of water, each one on each side, right? So at one side you have the 1 liter bucket, and the other side you have the 2 liter bucket. They're all made from the same material. They're all filled with water with different volumes. Now you hang the broomstick by the middle, and of course the side with 2 liters of water goes down. But if it was all about density, then there would be an equilibrium. They wouldn't tilt. Do you agree with me?
What are you talking about? If you don't have the equilibrium between the stick, that's where your problem is. You just influenced that. So you're not proving anything about the density there. You just moved the center point of your balance.
No,
what are you talking about? Yeah, I hear you. You were in the middle, and if they were both equally filled, they should balance, right? And you're trying to say, well, if I move that center point off to one side, one drops, right?
No, that's not what I meant. I'm saying that one bucket has the double of water the other one has, but I'm holding the broomstick right in the middle. They should be influenced equally, right? Because they have equal densities. Correct?
Again, if one side has more, though, no, again, they're not.
Someone get.
What are you talking about?
This is so confusing. I'm
having a hard time understanding exactly what you're trying to prove.
Let's skip the foreplay and let's just go straight into this, because you're saying that you've established causation. So you're saying that gravity causes things to accelerate downwards. Okay? You just have to show the experiment. I'm not done, Pacini. Not done, sorry. You just have to show us the experiment that established the causation. Because we understand that correlation does not equal causation, right? We can see two things happening. We can see stuff falling down. I snap my fingers, something falls down. It must be because I snap my fingers. No. We'd have to do an experiment following the scientific method to establish causation. So that's all we need. Whether it's mass attracting mass or bending and warping in space-time, just show us the experiment that was done that actually established causation. So let's just get straight to it. If you don't have that, we can't talk about gravity. We can't.
Right. So
I think you think weight is something that's not a conception. I think that's where you were going with this. That you think
weight
that's what you're doing. It's a conception. No. You are making a totally incorrect trying to figure out this density thing, and it involves not only your motion, but you also are involving trying to change the volume with the amount. And you think you know what weight is affected by gravity. Describe weight for me. How about you give me a definition of weight?
Okay, the weight is by definition, textbook definition, is the mass of whatever it is, the body that has that property, times gravity. That's the textbook definition of what weight is. Weight is a force.
You don't have proof for gravity, first of all.
Exactly. Who cares about these formulas with gravity in them? We just need you to actually establish that gravity is real. No, Pacini.
Okay.
I don't care about your formulas. Just show us the scientific experiment that followed the scientific method that established that gravity is the causation of the downward acceleration. Just show us that. That's all we need.
All right. So let's start with two different people. Right? Say a very tall person, a very bulky person,
no.
and a very light person.
I want the actual paper. I want the actual a citation for this.
Yeah, right, this time you have to provide the citation, so you better go to Google it, because you're going to have to actually back up where you're going.
If this is legit, right? They actually established causation. You should have no problem pulling this up. It should be well documented. We just all need to see that. We don't want a story of how it could have been done. We want it actually documented what was done.
Right. So as for the theory, you can refer yourself to the Principia from Newton, and then later on
Newton
the
again.
Theory of relativity, the general theory of relativity of Einstein. For the theory, as for experiments on gravity, you can also consult Cavendish, which is the most popular one, and anything else really that came after on astrophysics also
Cavendish
helps
has nothing
to
to
understand.
do. Cavendish is about.
You understand that Cavendish doesn't work.
Relative density, yes.
Cavendish is about how. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but Cavendish was about Earth's density, right?
Yes,
That was the
the relative
theory,
density of Earth.
but not gravity.
It had nothing to do with gravity. So
Yes,
again,
let me
I'm
ask you a
asking for
question.
established. No.
It's also not an experiment because they weren't able to rule anything out because, again, it wasn't fulfilling what an experiment requires.
Yep. So we need
Think
to
about
we
this.
need established causation. Okay? That means the independent variable had to be gravity because you're manipulating the independent variable and establishing that the independent variable causes or has an effect on the dependent variable.
Right. So
That's what we need.
as for gravity, we know that the forces generated are going to be proportional to the mass, right? So we can easily check that by measuring bodies in scales and seeing that the force that they generate, say on the deflection of springs, the deflection of load cells, and the actuation of piezoelectric materials, it is proportional to the mass.
Once again, your
You're gonna say it's not
formula
force.
has not proven gravity because you have not been able to isolate gravity. Certainly, I can make a scale, but that doesn't
I'm
require
isolating the
gravity.
mass. I'm isolating
Again,
the mass.
a body's okay. So, what is weight? I'm going to ask you again. What's the definition of weight?
Weight, by definition, is a force. Is the
Really?
force that the gravitational field casts upon a body, a mass. That's the definition of weight. Now, mass is an inherent property of inertia of a body. So, I have to ask: are you going to trust Google, or are you going to trust the actual physics textbooks that actually deal with the topic properly? Because I'm seeing here in the voice
the textbooks
text.
that you still haven't actually answered what I asked for. You are
Right.
aware of that, right? We need.
Yeah, I was trying
the
to,
sign-
but
no, you brought up Cavendish, which is completely unrelated.
Newtonian.
Right.
We
So,
need the paper. We need the experiment that actually proved gravity is causing the bending and warping of space-time. We need that. Until then, you just have a story. I don't care what formulas you have that have G in them. We need to know that G is actually a thing. So what has been done to establish that this is actually happening?
So when we look up in the sky and we take into consideration the orbits that we observe of the planets near us, except for Mercury, Newtonian gravity works well, and from deduction,
It's been superseded. You cannot use it.
If you cannot finish a point, because I'm trying to build up a train of thought.
No,
right?
the formulas for
Not actually
Newtonian.
an experiment,
It's
though.
done.
If I cannot finish a
Gravitational
train of thought,
lensing.
then I'm not going to build any train of thought at all.
You do not know how to prove that gravity actually causes weight because you cannot construct a hypothesis for an experiment that must be able to isolate gravity. No. You have not shown anybody who's done that, and you cannot make an experiment that does that.
So
you are asserting the consequence. Do you understand? You're arguing in a fallacy. You're asserting the consequence. You're assuming that it's gravity that causes weight, but you don't know that. You have not proven gravity. You keep claiming it. You keep saying Newtonian and Cavendish, but guess what? Those were superseded. So even your own model does not use that. So you can't use that.
I think he doesn't really understand what is required for a scientific experiment, okay?
Yeah,
What
why
is-
don't you tell us? What is
Yes,
required?
tell us the 3 things that are required for a scientific experiment.
Yes, you need a hypothesis, an independent variable, a dependent variable. You need to test them. Yes, so on and so forth. Right.
So give me a hypothesis for gravity.
A hypothesis for gravity is that indeed masses are bending space and time, and this in turn.
What's your independent
generates
variable?
forces
What's your
in
independent
turn,
variable?
Space and time
And how are you going to manipulate that?
with masses.
You just told me your independent variable was space and time, but now you're telling me you're going to manipulate masses.
No. You asked me how I would manipulate space and time, and I said with masses.
You know, Cavendish failed.
Okay,
and was
so how
superseded.
are you manipulating space and time? How are you bending 5 minutes?
That's what I'm
show
figuring
us
out
that?
too.
You don't bend 5 minutes. Bending, when they say bending, they're trying to conceive a mathematical concept of the theory behind. It's about
Sorry,
derivative.
but this is a physical observable experiment because again, you're talking natural science. An experiment requires an observable and then a manipulating of the variables. And you are not doing that because what you're doing is you're saying, oh, I can come up with an equation that make it seem that it works, but you didn't do anything.
Exactly. So for the independent variable, you would have to manipulate it. Here's the problem with gravitational lensing. When you're looking at these quote unquote lights in these planets, lights in the sky, whatever they are, and you're seeing some anomalies happen based on where the sun is and eclipses, you're just observing. You're not actually manipulating anything. You're not physically manipulating these things. So
well, I can actually take my I can actually take my equation and change the variables. Say, for instance, now I'm going to consider.
I don't care about your equation. You have to manipulate the independent variable.
Right.
Which means physically manipulating.
If you say right, then that's in the end of it. Because if you can't manipulate it, you cannot isolate it. And you cannot claim a cause and effect based on not manipulating it by just doing a little bit of math. Math doesn't manipulate anything.
Looking at the planets is not manipulating anything. You're just making a correlative observation. That's it. You're just looking at stuff. You're not actually physically manipulating it. That's required. For example, if you want to do an experiment on water and how it affects plant growth, okay, you would manipulate the amount of water you're giving to the plants. Manipulation is key, and that's also how you have the control variables. Okay? So with gravitational lensing, they're just looking at stuff.
They're making a bunch of assumptions because they're not even sure what's all out there. They're assuming a behavior is happening because of their ideas of what they think this place is. But it has no base in reality other than their imagination. That's all it is. It could be happening because of what they say, but they have not been able to prove that. Do you understand? There has to be proof. You can't just say, well, I think this is why things happen, or I see things because I think this is what's going on, if you can't experiment on it and manipulate it. You have no idea what you're doing with this experiment. You're just making an observation.
I'm just going to say I was trying to build, I tried several times to build a train of thought. I was interrupted many times. I'm not going to try again. Right? But have a good luck, guys, on your pursuit of
You
science.
were not interrupted. Don't be disingenuous. You were allowed to spew everything you needed to make your claims, but we stopped you again because they were inaccurate. Yeah, stopped you when you were trying to make a claim. Stop. You are still making claims. We stopped you whenever it was appropriate to tell you you got to come back and actually fulfill the need there for an experiment. You can't just keep claiming you're doing something and spout off for 15 minutes off and on about what you're going to prove when you haven't proven anything.
Yep. And there is no scientific experiment that's ever been done to actually establish causation, that the bending and warping of space-time causes this downward acceleration. It's never been done. So until then, it's just an explanation of why things are going down. But again, with the 3 questions I brought up before, with when you're seeing things going down, you have to ask yourself those 3 questions. of did I apply force to the object? Did the density of the object change? Or did the medium change? Okay? Because until then, you just have a great story, and gravity is like the heliocentric model is so reliant on gravity. Everything is working because of this force, the supposed, it's not even a force, but this supposed bending and warping of space-time. But they've never even confirmed that that's the case. So we shouldn't even be really challenged by globe earthers because the burden of proof is on you.
Especially when it violates the second law of thermodynamics.
Yeah,
with gas
go in
behavior.
that, yeah.
That's your problem, is your gravity doesn't solve that issue. It's totally
I'm
bogus.
sorry, how come it violates the second law?
Again, gravity doesn't hold gases in a shape. It just doesn't.
Right.
Gases
Okay, and
don't
what the
contain a
second law
shape
is
without a
about?
container.
What is the second law about? It's about irreversibility of energy, right?
Yes, high pressure
entropy.
going to low pressure.
Okay, so tell me what about it would somehow not only make energy reversible, but say has in fluids viscous gains.
We're not talking about
How will-
fluids. We're talking about gases.
Yeah,
Don't you try to go to fluids. There's a
Gases
total
are
different
fluids,
behavior.
We're told that the Earth is in a vacuum, okay? And that we have uncontained gas pressure, keyword uncontained, open atmosphere next to the vacuum of space, okay? But what we know with the
Yes.
second law is that high pressure will always go to low pressure. And we also know that gas pressure requires containment. In the definition itself, it is the gas molecules colliding against the walls of its container to form the pressure. Okay? So that's why we know that the vacuum of space can't exist, because we can observe and demonstrate and repeat how gases behave. But all of a sudden, with the claim of the Earth, they're suddenly not behaving how we see, observe, and demonstrate them to behave.
And you guys use the excuse gravity.
Yep.
But it doesn't work. Violates that law. Boom, you're done. And air is not behaving like a liquid. Behaves as a gas.
Yeah. Weed in my car and I roll the windows down. What happens to the gas, Cheney?
The gas undergoes several things when you're driving your car and you pull the windows down. There is such a thing as the interaction of this relatively still mass of gas that it's inside and the gas that is on the outside. There are vortices that are created because of that. What exactly do you want to talk about?
I'm saying if just your car is full of smoke and you roll the windows down, the gas is going to go outside. It's going to fill the available space.
Yes.
The high pressure is going to go to low pressure. This is demonstrated all the time. And what
Yes, I
happened
agree.
was I removed the physical barrier, aka my windows, remove the physical barrier, and when the gas pressure is uncontained, it will fill the available space. Same with the tire. You have gas pressure in your tire. You remove the container.
Yeah.
There's a hole. The air in the tire is going to go outside of the tire. It's going to fill the lower pressure and the available space. Okay? So in order for this, so we can see time and time again, we can show several examples of what gas does, how it behaves uncontained, and what it does with entropy. But in order for the claim that the heliocentric model makes to be true, you would have to demonstrate to us gas pressure without a container.
Gas pressures gas having a shape without a container. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's hilarious. You guys don't look at your basic laws and observe them and go, yep, that's a law. That's why it's a law. It only, though, happens in your mystical world of the globe.
So the gas has a mass, correct? And this mass, as you know, Darwin tell you, is being accelerated towards the Earth. There is
No.
such a thing as the gradient
No,
that we observe.
we need you to talk about
that.
gas pressure without a container. Can you give us an example?
Earth itself,
not the-
Jupiter,
No,
Saturn.
You can use bodies out in space, again, a place that violates the second law of thermodynamics, violates all known gas laws. And
How come it violates the second law?
You can't prove here on Earth. You cannot prove Saturn, Jupiter, or anything lights moving in the sky. You can't.
Okay, but how come it violates the second law exactly?
Same reason Earth does. Same reason. We just gave you the whole reason.
How are we supposed to have Jupiter, a ball of
be
gas
contained?
in the
All of
vacuum
them.
of space? How are we going to have Jupiter, a ball of gas uncontained in the vacuum of space, if we can't even demonstrate that? We need to demonstrate that here on Earth because everything that we show here on Earth contradicts that claim.
It doesn't make sense.
What?
Well, it may not make sense to you, but the point is that.
No, don't try that. I'm trying to say it doesn't make sense that we're stupid. We're not stupid. We're quoting you the actual laws and behaviors of gas, and you are not proving that those have been
That's not
by your
that's not a complete definition. That's what I'm telling you. That's not a complete definition.
Of gas
It's in
pressure?
fact, yeah, that's not a complete definition.
Well, provide a definition. I'll do it too. Let's do it together. Okay? 1, 2, 3.
I don't know what else you're gonna, what you're exactly going to say, but
Provide
it tends
citation
to
of
go
gas
from
pressure.
it tends to go from high pressure to low pressure, but
it does.
It is also has mass, and this mass is affected by the forces of gravity.
No, it's not.
Oh my God.
You have gases that go up. So where is this change that's happening?
Yes, because the pressure of the underlying gas is higher than the mass of the gas itself, the weight of the gas itself.
Again,
and that's why it goes
You're
up.
saying it's because of the force of gravity. And at the same time, all flat earthers say that it's not gravity, it's density. So you just exposed yourself.
Sorry, what?
He's right.
Yep.
I didn't hear really. I didn't hear.
You said that it's because of forces of gravity, right? And all of the
Yes.
flat earthers say that gravity is the thing, that it's density instead of gravity. So you just actually exposed yourself.
Oh, truth, you're hot, Micah.
Not exactly. I mean, I said it's all based on proportional to mass, but density does come into play when we think about buoyancy. And buoyancy, by textbook definition, if you want to look up, it's in function of gravity itself. It's in function of the mass of the displaced volume. When you think about a solid, for instance, a solid within, you guys like to talk about the anvil in Mercury, right? So the mass of Mercury displaced. So let's put it this way, with huge air quotes.
Why are we talking about solids when we're talking about gas pressure without a container?
You can't get.
What are we doing? I'm sorry. I'm getting so bored. Like I'm being rude, but I'm getting really bored. I just need you to provide a definition of gas pressure, please and thank you. I posted one. Okay. Gas pressure. Chemistry.elmhurst.edu. The pressure of gas is the force that the gas exerts on the walls of its container. Can you please provide a definition? Please provide a definition of gas pressure without a container. Let's
That's
do
the definition for pressure. Yes, I agree with that definition of pressure.
Okay, so it says it on the walls of its container. Okay, can gravity be a container?
Not necessarily only walls of containers, okay? If you have, for instance, a barometer, the barometer will have a small surface area that is using to measure the pressure. That's not exactly a container, but it's
I'm not talking about measuring gas pressure. I'm talking about creating gas pressure.
Yeah, but he's still measuring the gas pressure. He doesn't even understand that a barometer is measuring pressure. Therefore,
in a container.
Once again, the gas molecules will hit the measurement surface, and will, by the principle of actuation of that barometer, specific barometer, will be able to measure that.
We're not
It's
talking about
not only
measuring.
on
We're
the,
talking about creating different things.
it's not only
You know the
about
difference?
the
Do you know the
container.
difference between measuring and creating? Yes or no?
Yeah, I understand. Yes, I mean,
Okay, thank you.
I did a whole
So
major
it
measuring
says
thing.
the
So
container is required for the creation of gas pressure.
Measure gas without a container. You are violating so many laws. It's just hilarious.
So, for example, tire. Let's go back to the tire. We can measure the PSI in the tire. We can measure. It's like a good tire. You want like 30 parts per whatever. Forget the thing.
PSI.
Yeah, PSI. Yep. But when there's a hole in the tire, what happens to the gas pressure?
it evens out with the outside pressure. Yes.
It's gone. There's no more gas pressure. And then obviously you can still have the PSI read. It's going to be like 0 when it's completely empty. Okay?
Holy crap.
Yeah, not exactly 0, right? It would be atmosphere
Or
level. So
whatever it's going to be. Whatever.
If it doesn't have any weight pressing it out, yeah, sure. But we're talking about a car tire or something like that. So yeah.
So
You know,
when
it
the
just depends on the
container-
situation. You know
when the
that.
container's been punctured, okay, no more gas pressure.
yes, but sure, I agree. But at the same time, this gas would expand in all directions evenly, correct? So why come do we have a gradient in our atmosphere?
So you're switching you went to a gradient when you have a dynamic system compared to just a container, because you're thinking now, oh well, I'll give them a container now. I'll give them a container for just a minute and say, okay, now
It's undeniable. We have a gradient in our atmosphere.
Of course, we have a gradient because we
you
have gas
have a
pressure.
gradient because you have pressure first. So you just give us the container. You just gave that to us. Do you realize that?
He doesn't.
And now
I'm going with your flow. I'm going with your flow.
Absolutely. Here on Earth, you're in a dynamic system. You have a gradient. Where is gas created on the Earth?
I'm not making any claims of how it's created.
It doesn't matter. You need to understand this. If you're going to claim the gradient, then you need to know where gas is created.
How come I'm not making any claims of the history of Earth, how it was created, and how the gas got here in the first place?
Pressure, and how do we get a gradient? So you just assumed that you gave us a container. You just did it. You said, "How did they have a gradient? How do they have a gradient?"
That's so retarded.
Do you not understand that you gave that to us? You gave a container and say you can't have
your container.
Out a container.
Right.
You can't have
your container. Now explain to me why there's a gradient in the first place.
There's a gradient because it's a dynamic system, including the movement of the sun, the production of gases, and the multiple cycles that run this world, such as the carbon dioxide cycle. Oh, I don't know. What
Medic, are you a
can I
flat
come up
earther,
with?
or do you believe in a globe Earth?
He's a glober. Gases are coming from the ocean. Gases are being released from the ocean. They're coming from deep within the earth. Methane gas is coming from there. Trees, obviously.
Plants, the biocycle.
Yep. And as you get further away from that source, obviously there's going to be a gradient. But in order to have gas pressure, period, to begin with, all of this must be within a container.
But you gave it.
Because if it was uncontained, all the air that we had here would fill the available space.
And he gave us numerous times.
Let me ask you one thing. So there's.
You've been defeated. You have totally conceded that there has to be containment. We've heard this. Like, whether you've understood it or not, everyone else has. So if there is containment, then on your model, what is that containment? If there's no container, then what's containing it?
I was going to ask a question first. Can I ask a question first? So Musk.
Of course you can.
You're not running, but once you do, we're not running away from that. We're going to go right back to that. Okay. What's your question? Unless he's muted, and then we just.
I didn't mute.
Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Anyway, the question I was going to make is: so think about, say, the first 100 meters here in the atmosphere here on the surface, right? And then the next 100 meters. So we know that the first 100 meters have a higher pressure, right? And the upper ones have a lower one. That means that it creates a force by the definition of pressure, right? So wasn't it supposed to, the gases below, weren't they supposed to go up?
They do go up.
Well, but then that would even out the pressures then. Don't you agree with me? Eventually,
No, again, you're not considering the dynamic cycles. You're not considering where it's being produced. You're not even disseminating how things have this size that we are talking about. You're not considering any of these things.
Constant. The gradient is very constant. It never changes. It was supposed to.
Boom, he left.
He left.
Did he leave? Did he get banned? Or muted?
Or he wanted to get that question out and not answer my question. He was like, let me get this question out and then dip out.
Kid's voice puts me to sleep, guys. Like, I'm so tired right now.
That guy. But he did give us a container finally.
So how does the below side of the Earth look like the other side?
You want us to speculate? Because we don't do that here.
What? Oh, I just want an answer.
How can I answer you? I can't go any further than I know that the Russians have gone. Miles about deep drilling.
Oh, that's about good enough.
Go look up the deep borehole. Find out what they found. It was really interesting. Wasn't what they expected. Wasn't what they predicted.
Dudes just have stories. It gets so boring. Hear the same shit.
Funny
every
how
week.
he conceded to the container so many times without even realizing it. He doesn't know the conundrums with weight and mass. I understand why he has been banned prior. It's like talking to a brick wall.
Why he hasn't gone to look to see why anything he's saying doesn't hold up. He hasn't gone to check what we've said and go verify what we said and see how it works with his idea of what's going on. Because then he would have a better argument, but he doesn't even know. He doesn't know.
I find it funny that there's so many natural laws, like especially the second law of thermodynamics. It's amazing. Can't have gas pressure without containment. Well, why can't up and down vectors be a natural law? That is what is. What is. There is an up and down. It is simple as that. There's other things that come into play with it, but that is what it is. It should be a natural law. It's so simple, and people want to make it so hard.
Everything just falls because of gravity. But yeah.
But I mean, we still have an up, but it's still an up and down vector, right? That's the natural law, up and down.
Up and down.
And everything else is orientation. But up and down, it's a natural law. That is what is. And everybody is fine with other what is, but not this one. But then again, Globers can't get a lot of other natural laws. I think they seem to stumble on them quite frequently.
It's also like, why do they keep coming in here if they don't want to look into it at all or actually look at their own model or anything? Like, I don't get the guys that keep coming back that never actually look at anything. What's the thought behind that? How's that going to help them in any way? They always just sound like idiots.
Yeah, I understand the newcomers, but the ones that keep coming back with the same arguments over and over, yeah, that's the ones that are like, okay, guys, what's wrong with you? Would you just at least go look and try to come up with a new argument or a new angle on it or something? Or more evidence? Something.
Or at least, know the basics of what you're trying to claim. Like, at least know something about it.
Did he provide any citation?
Not a one. Not a one.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, they can't even attempt to really debate. This is exactly what happened last time. Oh, sorry.
That kind of annoys me always when they're all just like, I'm just going to sit here and do nothing but say nothing but keep talking. And I'm like, why are you here? It's annoying.
Yeah, he was there when me, Battlemon, and Cyrus were debating, and we had this same problem. We wanted them to provide a definition of gas pressure, and they would not do it. Wouldn't provide citation. Just did it again.
Maybe at that point they already like subconsciously know that they have no ground to stand on, but they're just like so invested in it that they're like being willfully ignorant, and that's why it strikes such a discord. Because it's like, why are you acting so unnaturally? It's because he's lying to himself.
It has to either be willful, like they know what they're doing, or that they are just so lost that they're so confounded.
So have you guys ever talked to like some people who actually know about this shit?
Something.
To actual scientists and
There's actual professors that will come in here, and I prefer talking to them, honestly.
I do too.
Like Matthew
Because I
Learns,
bet,
as much
like-
as I can't stand him, I would prefer talking to him. They actually know their model. Because that's half the problem, is people want to come in here and they want to argue for Newtonian gravity. And they don't even understand that it's completely out of date. Or they want to ask like, oh, how the heck do seasons work on the flat earth? And they don't even know how seasons work. Or eclipses or anything like that. They don't know how it works on their globe.
Yeah, or they like flip flop between where like one time they'll be like, oh, it's so small, it's like this. And then you're like, oh, here's proof it's not that small. And then like, oh yeah, that's because it's too big to be seen. And you're like, you said literally the opposite. And you're like, that's because it's white. And you're like, okay, but that doesn't work. And it's like, that's because it's black. And you're like, okay, twice you've contradicted yourself. And they won't even acknowledge it. And then they start gaslighting. Those are the worst.
Are you a flat earther?
for me,
Yes.
not really.
Oh, not really?
No.
Oh, shit.
Time to answer 3 questions.
You're about to be a flat earther.
Okay, go on.
Who wants to do the 3 questions?
I've got to take a break for a minute. I got to let the dog out. So somebody else has to take it.
Karma, you want to do them?
The earth is flat. Who's flat? The earth is flat.
That's
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. That's what's it that lady he met. That was so classic. That was awesome.
I hope that goes viral.
It should go viral. Oh shit. Do you see her look on her face too? It's awesome. That's probably one of the best ones he's ever gotten, the clip wise. And then she just runs. She runs off to yell at everybody. It's
I know.
That's awesome.
I love this one.
That's awesome.
Somebody pointed out the other day right away. It's like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, it made me laugh so hard the first time I saw it. Ah.
Well, and how does the sky fall if it's just a atmosphere? Unless it's contained. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. There you go. I'm going to take my break. I'll be back in for you guys. But yeah, somebody give him the questions. I'll be listening.
You want to do it, Karma? I am so brain dead.
What, me?
Yeah.
It's okay. First of all, super late. Second of all, I've been making like birthday cakes and I did a bunch of shit today. So no, you do it.
Oh, okay, Shines. Get it, girl.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I am coming in. My
Okay. Nice internet.
Yeah, the mic is not working.
Oh wait, now I can't hear you.
It started opening really bad.
So 3 questions or
Oh wait, is Shine's there? Is she there?
I'm here, but it's roboting. Yeah.
Oh, not anymore.
Work though there for.
I'm in and out. We'll see what happens. I guess.
Okay.
Sorry.
YOLO.
Hello. Was somebody?
was there one question?
What was the question?
Robots
Was it supposed to be a
every
question?
What?
Yeah, my ears are getting cancer right now.
Wait. Okay, she's
I
robot.
think she started roboting again.
Yeah, I don't know if her internet is messing up
Okay.
or what it is, but okay. So I'll tell you what her first question is, and maybe she can come back and finish it. So her first question was: has anyone ever measured curvature?
Well, I don't know. I'm 17. I'm in high school. I don't know how I'm supposed to know that.
Yeah, it's just a question of like, do you know of anybody who's
mean,
done that or not?
probably.
It's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
getting a frame of what you know. You don't have to know. It's okay not to know. Like, I didn't know of anybody having measured it ever. But
Okay,
do you
so
believe that someone has done it though?
yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you at least believe someone's done it, but you don't know of anybody doing it. So that's first base is covered.
Yeah.
Second one would be, for instance, Earth spin. Do you know of it ever being measured and how, for instance?
I know it has been measured. I don't know how. I mean, I
Oh,
don't study space shit, scientist shit in university, so
Oh, do you know who anybody specifically who has done it, or do you just believe that someone has done it? You've been told that it's been done, you know.
I just believe, honestly.
Yeah, honesty is what we love. Thank you very much for that. Not everybody does that, so I super appreciate it. And the third question would be outer space is a vacuum adjacent to a high pressure of Earth, and when it was validated as possible medium to travel to, or and how?
But say again.
It's basically the vacuum of space being right next to our atmosphere, that being a medium we can go to and stuff like that. How it was validated as possible, that kind of stuff.
So what's the question? If it's possible, or
It's basically how can high pressure be right next to low pressure without a container, because that violates the second law of thermodynamics. It's also in the voice text, if you want to look at it, we have from NASA the definitions of this.
So how can high pressure be next to low pressure?
Yes, like
That's
do you
your
know of any proof that that is possible because it violates natural law?
I mean, I don't have any proof. I don't think everyone is proof of low pressure / high pressure next to each other. There's probably some random shit in the atmosphere that does that.
Well, that's just to go over. You don't know, but you believe it somehow works because that's what we were told, right?
Kind of.
Yeah, fair enough. So to go over it, basically, hang on, sorry, my brother keeps talking to Okay, sorry, I'm back. It's his birthday, so I will totally forgive him any interruptions. So basically, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that, so like at this moment, this is all just belief because we were taught this when we were young and we were told this. So Earth curve, Earth spin, and the medium of outer space are not actually knowledge, it's belief. So it's good to keep in mind when we go over these things that there actually isn't any proof for it so far. But yeah, somebody else please take over because I am not meant to be talking to people.
I mean, I don't have any proof, but 100% like scientist does. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a random person.
Oh, dude, I totally get you, man. I used to trust in what I was told just blindly like that before as well. It's just the fun thing is once you start actually looking into it and you see all the evidence that people here have that I'm way too tired to go into myself because it's really late in Iceland. But yeah, we have a lot of proof that disproves and debunks the globe. But sorry, I'm never good at English when I'm tired.
Right. I live in the Netherlands. It's even later, 2:30.
Oh, you live in the Netherlands?
So, yes.
We have a flat earther here who lives there. Roger.
Yeah, I've spoken to him. I think in the VC check-in.
Cool. Oh, cool. I think he says there's some places in the Netherlands that you can go do long distance observations.
Yeah, at IJsselmeer.
What did you think of that when he told you about that?
I don't know if it's true. I really don't know.
What if you go and look? Do you want to know? Do you want to know if the Earth is flat? Like, would you want to know?
I don't really care. I don't have like more things to do. So.
Then why are you here?
Because I'm just curious how you guys think and why you guys think the Earth is flat instead of round. Because the 99% of the population think that the Earth is a sphere, and there's only like 1% that thinks the Earth is flat.
You know how many people in the population are like morbidly obese? It's because just because the majority or the population is a certain way doesn't mean that it's right.
That's only in America.
No, not just in America. But my point is that just because the majority is doing something doesn't mean it's right. The majority of people are in major credit card debt all over. So,
I mean, wasn't slavery proven by majority at one point? So I mean, slavery is right. Not a good standard to go by.
Yep. So can't do that. So what we can do though is we can look at two things. We can look at evidence for the globe and evidence for the flat Earth. The more you look into the globe, you realize that they don't actually have evidence. They just have reaffirmed their belief. So there was a guy in here earlier talking about gravity, but they've never actually done a scientific experiment to prove gravity and how it affects the downward acceleration of objects. Never prove that. They just do gravitational lensing, which is just an observation. But for an experiment, that requires manipulating the independent variable. And they've never done that. And same with Earth curvature. They've never measured Earth curvature. And when they supposedly claim they've done it, they just reaffirm their belief again. And they were presupposing a ball or presupposing the distance of the sun, just making a lot of assumptions not based in any reality. Same with axial rotation. There's no measurement of axial rotation. So when you're looking at evidence for the globe, there is none. And then there's evidence that, I guess, there is evidence for the flat Earth. We have long distance observations. But also the lack of globe evidence supports the flat Earth, which we don't really have a positive claim. We just have, like, if they're saying the Earth is spinning, we're just saying, well, you've never proven that it's spinning, so therefore it's not spinning. So that's kind of, I guess, how flat earthers think. He said, you wanted to know what we think, what we believe. We don't really have any beliefs. We just have learned. We first learned the heliocentric model, and then we found flaws within the model and contradictions. And then we also found that there's no evidence for any of it. So that's why we're here.
So, if the Earth is flat, yeah, what are other planets also flat then?
No, because you're still thinking that the Earth is in outer space. But what you would think is outer space, you're thinking that the Earth is floating in this black abyss with all these spinning fiery balls there. That whole world that you understand is made up. It violates natural law. It violates the science. It violates the second law of thermodynamics. So that place that you think that the Earth is in, it doesn't exist. So when we look up at the sky, of course we see lights in the sky. We don't really know.
Also,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just want to say, also saying the other planets in the sky is begging the question when you're talking about the twinkly lights up there. He'd need to establish that this is a planet first before he starts saying that it's the other planets. That implies that this is a planet, which it's not.
Okay. So, because I also believe that, or think, that all the rockets that went into space or whatever it is, fake. Is that fake or is it just? What is it? Because you can literally see the rockets going into space. Or going into orbit at least.
I'd love to literally see a rocket go into space, because as far as I've seen, they always just curve and then land in the ocean.
So you just see, so there's two perspectives, right? There's the people on the ground and then there's videos.
The satellites go in orbit and of course the rockets go back.
No, so there's two perspectives. There's the people actually there and then there's videos of it. But, so for the people that are standing on the ground, let's take them first. They see the rocket take off, but they have a limit to how far they can see. So they see the rocket take off, that's it. That's all you see. You don't actually see it go into space. You just see it take off. Not saying it's not going to space, but people that are on land just see it take off. That's it. Okay, the videos of it, well, they never have one consecutive shot. They show it take off from the ground, and then they switch camera angles. Like clockwork every single time. And then you'll just... What?
So do you actually think America spends 18 billion on NASA for nothing? Just to scam...
Where did you get for nothing from?
Because they're spending 18 billion on NASA. And you're saying the sphere Earth is not real. That it's flat.
Okay, just because they would spend money on a lot, just because somebody would invest a lot of money into a lie doesn't mean that the lie is therefore not valid anymore.
Also,
so why would you even lie to everyone then?
Huh?
Why would you lie to everyone then?
Why would the government betray the people? Why would a government betray their people? Is that what you're asking? Because we have no historical record of that whatsoever. None. We have no historical record of governments betraying their people time and time again and spending a lot of money to do so.
And even officially admitting they did it time and time again.
Yeah. Even right now, with
Every
the little
country in the
flu
government.
season going around, the dramatic flu season, we're not going to get into that, but that's also why would they spend a lot of money to lie about space? Look at how much money they're spending to pull the BS that they're doing now. Okay, just because you don't understand the value of the lie doesn't mean that the lie is not being done.
I don't understand it. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but honestly, the reason is, like, I get why you want to understand the reason. But before you even ask why are they lying, you should determine if they are lying and look at the evidence presented on both sides and establish if they're lying. Because you haven't even done that yet. You have a belief that the Earth is a globe, okay? But what you need to do right now, as someone new to the flat Earth, is you need to sift through the evidence of both sides, globe and flat, and make a decision, are they lying? And then you can speculate, why would they lie? We will never know why they would lie, because we would actually have to be the party that's lying. We're not the liars. We're just finding out about the lie. So that's what I would do right now. I know you want to understand the why, but none of us here are going to actually know for sure. We have speculations, but we're not the liars.
Yeah, there's an old man getting mad at me right now in the chat.
Well, be respectful to your elders.
He's mad at me because I have a different opinion or like different way of thinking. Oh, he just called me a fucker. Thank you, man.
There's lots of videos below here.
Okay, because I called him an old man, he called me a fucker. Jeez.
Okay, well, we don't need to worry about that right now.
I will give you play-by-play Madden. You don't start no shit and there won't be none. You call me old man, what? You want me to call you a whippersnapper or son or something like that? If I'm an old man, shouldn't I be calling you son?
Well, sorry, man. It was not my.
Anybody ever told you when you're at the zoo, don't stick your hand in the cage trying to pet the animals?
Exactly, man.
Yeah, you might get bit.
What?
Ladies, do we want to let the guys join in? I'm gonna head out. We can keep going.
I just had to be my normal
Oh
self.
no,
damn
I'm
it.
like.
No, it's Friday night and I ain't got no woman at home, damn it. You all got to keep talking. If we got to be on the real about it. and listen, and half these Globers don't either, so see, we're pimping you for members too, so it works out like that. Most of these Globers never get to talk to a woman. Where would we be without you all?
Aww.
Right? I mean, you know, our membership goes up every week. They're like, oh, them flat earthers got chicks we can talk to.
We needed you earlier for the debate. We had the Battle of the Sexes debate earlier.
Oh, Christ. Battle of the Sexes, what over equality?
We can keep going.
Feminism or
oh,
what?
God. You guys want to get me triggered again so I have the energy. Yeah. I'm so tired.
Sounds like a War of the Roses.
This is a strange event where I just want to listen.
See, I'm not trying to battle other sexes. I got other things in mind.
Thanks, Battlemod.
So I've got another question. Yeah?
I just love them women. So
keeping it PG.
They're not going to get any backing from me. The men are fucked.
So I've seen loads of theories that the edge of the Earth is just an ice wall.
What edge? You mean there's an edge?
Yeah, I've seen that of people of your peers.
Listen, does it cut off there? You're saying we're gonna fall off the edge of some Earth? What flat earther told you there's an edge? Or is
Those are
that
the
supposed to?
retarded YouTube videos.
Is that supposed to be a barrier from outer lands, or is it an edge?
So is Earth infinite? Just doesn't
No,
it
I
end?
asked you a question. You can't ask me a question when I ask you a question.
I'll just ask you a question first.
What
and you
flat
don't answer.
earther told you there was an edge? That's a rebuttal to your question.
I
Who
don't
said there
remember,
was an
man.
edge? Well, then you're
Like
strong manning
fucking
us. None of us said there was an edge. Like, I would believe that's just the edge of the realm, not the earth.
Are you going to let him answer? Every time he starts to answer, you keep talking.
Oh, what, you saying you don't want to hang out no more? You guys forgot who I am, huh?
It's all good, man.
Concern
Give him a
troll.
freebie, bro.
I mean, if you got to ask that question, you're pretty dumb. No, I didn't want to hear his answer. I wanted an answer to my fucking question.
Okay. Tell it again. Say it again.
Who said there's an edge to the earth and not an edge to the realm? Most flat earthers don't believe.
Somewhere on YouTube from the flat Earth kids said that we're like a ice wall at the end.
Okay,
of
well, maybe you should go back to that video and ask that question on that video, because most of us don't say there's a end to the earth or an edge. That this is just the realm we live in, and that would be the edge of the circumference of the sun. Most of us believe there's more land. Personally, that'd just be the edge of the map, in my opinion, or the known lands.
Has it ever been discovered?
Well, it would be known then, wouldn't it?
I know that's kind of in the statement of known lands. But here's the thing.
Why should not discover then?
Here's the thing. The answer would be yes. Other lands have been mapped and cartographed and recorded. Other lands have been. Yes.
Also, should we do an official outro for Ladies' Night then?
Damon, I said no, man. I'll shut up.
Do we have any ladies left? Who's left?
I'm still here, damsel.
Well, I'm not talking much, so you want to be main on this or what?
Is Ladies
Are
Night
you stepping
over,
out?
or
I'm just hanging on the side. I'm not very confident in speaking English. Can I be seized?
We can go for a few more minutes, I guess. Is anybody else? Then we can end it.
I'll back you up, but don't count on me being here 100%.
Okay.
You ladies sound all tuckered out.
Everybody's tuckered out tonight.
It's been a long day.
Yeah. Full moon tonight.
Maybe that's why.
I think it's the buck moon, if I remember right. Maybe not. The look.
Maybe that's why all the ladies are tired and the men are full of energy.
Maybe.
I keep getting distracted. I keep getting phone calls and people DMing me, telling me that people are imitating me and other platforms. It seems like, I don't know, this happens during Ladies' Night.
Really?
I've been following the conversation.
Somebody's imitating you? Oh, man. I hope they are not doing a very good job, so it's pretty.
Yeah, I don't really care, honestly, because no one can imitate me.
I don't think so.
I am
Yeah.
weird enough that I don't have to worry about that. No one can imitate me.
Let's just call you very unique. Unique. Not weird.
Yeah.
It's unique.
So you gals been having a good Ladies' Night so far?
Sure.
Yeah, I've enjoyed listening to. I've enjoyed it, especially, Dandelion. She's not been able to come in here a lot lately, and I really enjoyed, listening to her. And I've enjoyed listening to all of you, really.
Dandelion did bring the fire earlier. Loved when she dragged him back in topic when he tried to weasel out of it.
It's like you can tell that moment. It's like her entire, attitude and everything. It's just like when they do that, it's you can tell that. I don't know what they do.
You can tell she's the kind of mom that you don't get away with no bullshit.
Yeah, she's not a no.
I mean, I just
Not playing.
I just imagine seeing them sitting there and like being real assertive and overbearing, and then when they say that, it's and she's and that switch gets flipped, it's like you can just see them. You can just see them sitting back in the corner and hunkering down and starting to be quiet and listen to her.
Can I make a suggestion for Ladies Night and for the ending? Because I never know where to end it. Because let's just do 3 hours. Can we just like because like the precious metals thing goes 2 hours, right? And they're usually like, all right, 2 hours, boom, boom, we're going to end it. Can we do that? I mean, that would help me out a lot.
I don't have a problem with that.
All right, cool. So we'll go 3 hours on Ladies Night, 2 hours precious metal. Dude, once we hit, from 4 to 7 Central Time, boom. And then, because you all know that the guys are chomping at the bit to get back in. And it's fine. It's fine. And there's a good crowd of people. We've had almost 60 people watching tonight. It's been a great thing. So yeah, I mean, let's try to do that. We're almost 4 hours. Now, if it's going to be extended an extra hour, just let me know that's going to end at the top of the hour. Just let me know, because I'm not listening the entire time, and then I'll upload the video afterwards. So anyway,
I think it's fine.
Yeah, sure.
You can end it now. If you guys
hang around,
I don't have a
You
problem.
guys want to do an outro? That's what I'm saying. I mean, just like try to you start at the top of the hour, end it at the top of the third or fourth hour. It doesn't matter to me. It's just for me to make a good video. I just need to know when it's going to start and when it's going to stop.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's good protocol.
So we'll end at the end of the hour here, I guess. About 9 minutes away.
Sure. So,
all right?
I recommend, a lot of ladies that have been involved. And if you're talking to someone new that wants to make a last point, or the ladies want to make a summation of the entire night or whatever. I'm just saying, for me, it's like I can't listen to the whole time, for 4 hours because I'm doing other stuff. So I just want to know when to be. I listen off and on, so okay.
You don't listen to every single word we say. What a shock!
Oh, I'm so disappointed in you, Julio.
No, it's all good. I want to make a really good video.
Don't worry, man.
That's what I was gonna say.
You got a life. You know that. You don't live on that.
I don't know if everybody
It's
thinks
all
that I
good.
just sit here
Listen.
and just sit on 24/7 all day.
You know damn well I'm listening to every word. You ain't got to sweat, Helio. You got one fan.
Well, I mean, just message me on Discord. A lot of times, like during Ladies Night, I'm just like I'm doing something else, but I'm paying attention to the messages. So if one of the ladies is like, "Hey, we're about to end this," just message me, and then I'll listen in, and if you guys want to make an outro, boom, it's all good. It's a smooth outro. And I won't have to jump in to say it.
It's always a good idea. I'll make it go, like you said, smoother.
Yeah, it could be 3 or 4 hours. I mean, you guys pick it out. It's like usually top of the hour would be the best time to just like, hey, we're, just like I said, the gold and silver.
Yeah, that just gives you a idea of when to come and chat, huh?
Right. At least at the top of the hour, I'm going to start listening, and
I'm with you.
then I'll be able to hear, hey, cool, this has been a great conversation. Ladies, any last statements before we end this at the top of the hour? It doesn't matter if it's at 7 or 8, Central Time. Just give me a clue. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Not a problem.
He so opened the door with the clue comment, didn't he? I'll give you a clue.
We could also play a song first.
Hey, and also, I mean, we have like 5 minutes left. You can play an outro song too, and we can do that. Or have the ladies make their last statement and play an outro song, and then I'll stop the recording, and then I can upload it later. be another ladies' night video.
Sounds good. Like that idea. Ending on a music note. Good.
What song are you going to play, Battlemon? Well, hold on. Ladies, do you have any final statements? I don't know why I'm doing this. Ladies are supposed to be doing this. But we're planning for, to make it better in the future. So I understand where it's going to end. Top of the hour is best time. Yeah. So
I'm sorry, did drunken karaoke start? Did you ask me to sing?
I thought that was Saturday night.
I think that's coming up, isn't it?
I'm joking. I don't care whenever. I was just joking.
Well,
yeah, so we should just go. Thank you, all the ladies who participated and everybody who talked to us tonight. And thanks to all the gentlemen in the chat for being great support and adding great points to it. And special thanks to Dandelion for being a bit of a ass kicker earlier and all the other ladies. Hope everybody enjoyed Ladies' Night. Going to be ending it soon. And I don't know what else to say. Is that good enough?
Yeah, she scolded them like little kids and put them in the corner. That's exactly in my mind what happened.
In Iceland, we call it takik utan teppið, which means to put somebody on the rug. So I've just been imagining him sitting like in Dogesa on a rug this whole time. And that's forever how I'm matching this.
Dogesa? That's on the rock?
Yeah, like in Japanese when you sit in your legs,
Oh, yeah. I'm with you. I thought you said an Icelandic word there. I didn't know what it meant.
I did say some Icelandic because takan og teppið is 3 Icelandic words.
Yeah, and happy birthday shout out to Drace.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Drace.
We love you, bro.
Have an excellent one.
That explains a lot, Drace. But happy birthday. I didn't know when your birthday was.
Well, on that point, shouldn't we do an outro with a Dre song?
That's a good idea.
I love that idea.
Let's see. Which one should I play?
He has one.
I didn't hear all of the conversations and the arguments tonight, but the ones that I did hear, they were repeating. I just want to point out how it's weird. Okay, it's weird to me, but I just want to point out how they always take these observations and variables that support the arguments that we're making. They take those very things and attribute them fallaciously to their own. I mean, they use them as if they're going to improve or validate their claim, and then they don't make any. I mean, it's just weird to me. It's like density, buoyancy, and all of these things that they use these variables that none of which are even involved in their claim to try to verify their claim, try to validate their claim. It's just weird.
Yeah, they really try to complicate it more than it actually is. They attribute it to gravity, which then you get into the gravity argument, and you guys did that well tonight, I thought. Anyway, my favorite Dre song is the Skexy thing. Love that.
Well, then play it. Play it.
I don't. Send me the link.
Got it.
Is it? Somebody send me the link and then we'll play it. And it'll be done.
Hey, where's that at, Elijah?
I'm trying to look through the Groovy Bot thing. There's so many songs in there. I'm trying to find it.
Is that an electric bike?
Drace has it.
Drace posted in there, bro. Because I don't know.
It's a nice view.
Drace has it.
Just tell me when you want me to play it.
Hey, are you ladies done?
Think we are.
Shout out to the ladies. It's been a great ladies' night. This is the best. Here's Drace. Happy fucking birthday, bro.
Thank you.
You say it's your birthday.
Now here's some of his good music for his birthday. Happy birthday.
Trying something new this time.
Got you right in my claws. I have written the laws to thunderous applause. Come, little Gelfling. Sketches are good, Gelfling. I've got you. Don't put your skin, just the energy within. So come with me and see the crystal. Let's begin. got you under your skin. Do you have the mark yet? It's about to begin. He's got you. Take it all on the chin, giving up on your kin while you're serving the kingpin. He's got you, his little secret king, NASA worshipping, believing the whole thing. He's got you living in sin, got you walking around with a dopey-eyed grin.
So what do you guys think of the Donut Earth?
I think it gets banned here.
Nobody talk until this song is done.
Leave me wrap your hat up in tin. I'm your Huckleberry Finn. It's about to begin.
But I want to tell him I'm going to ban him, yo.
We got you. The lies are built in.
I need to unmute the boss.
The lie we're in.
Don't get banned, man. Last warning.
The globe cannot win. Belongs in the bin.
I've got you right in my claws. I have written the laws to thunderous applause. Come, little Gelfling. Sketches are good, Gelfling. I've got you. I don't put your skin, just the energy within. So come with me and see the crystal. Let's begin. He's got you under your skin. Do you have the mark yet? It's about to begin. He's got you. Take it all on the chin, giving up on your kin while you're serving the kingpin. He's got you, his little secret king, NASA worshipping, believing the whole thing. He's got you living in sin, got you walking around with a dopey-eyed grin.
We got you. The globe has been. Don't believe me, wrap your hat up in tin. I'm your Huckleberry Finn. It's about to begin the unraveling of your programming. We got you. The lies are built in. FE, the linchpin. The lie wearing thin. No curve or a spin. The globe cannot win. Belongs in the bin.
He's got you under your skin. Do you have the mark yet? It's about to begin. Take it all on the chin, giving up on your kin while you're serving the kingpin. He's got you, his little secret king, NASA worshipping, believing the whole thing. He's got you living in sin, got you walking around with a dopey-eyed grin.
We got you. The globe has been. Don't believe me, wrap your hat up in tin. I'm your Huckleberry Finn. It's about to begin the unraveling of your programming. We got you. The lies are built in. FE, the linchpin. The lie wearing thin. No curve or a spin. The globe cannot win. Belongs in the bin.
Shit, take that, Globers. Thank you, ladies. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah, that was that's kind of cool, Drace. That's the first time I heard that. I like that.
I told you that's
wrapped
my
around
favorite Dre song, bro.
Yeah, wrapped around the dark crystal with the dope head grin in there. You got a little gangster. I like that. You know me, I got to cuss and slap bitches and all that, or I ain't rapping.
Bitches.
Somebody got to get their back broke and their neck choked.
I don't know why we're ending the ladies' night show, but so thanks, ladies. This is insane. But
well, I am thoroughly enjoying this, so no complaints.
Cool. This shit is funny. But anyway, don't you guys love that song, Grace?
Rigby,
happy freaking birthday, Grace! Man, that's great. Love it.
You got bot muted, huh?
Anyway, we'll see everyone. We'll see everyone next week for ladies' night again. I'm stopping the stream and the recording now, and I'll